which is that laugh tracks don't just grate my ears and make me roll my eyes, but they also lessen the amount of jokes you can fit in a show by creating dead space in between lines. So when I took an episode of Friends, for example, and edited out all the segments where no one was talking because it was the audience's turn to make noise, it worked out to be over 5 minutes long. And when the entire episode is only 21 minutes, that means you're looking at about a quarter of it having no substance at all. And I know that comedy is not a race. It's not about having the most jokes, it's about having good jokes. If the goal was just to fit as many jokes as you could into like 10 seconds, you would just say them all at the same time. And something tells me that wouldn't work very well. So that idea kept eating away at me until I finally took on the experiment. 2 episodes of Friends, 2 episodes of The Office, 1 pen and paper, 3 cups of coffee, 1 mental breakdown, and a whole lot of pressing pause. Once I was done, I counted up all the jokes and was able to determine that yes, in fact, the show without laugh tracks had more jokes per minute, which means my hypothesis was correct and comedy is now objective thanks to math. All right, good night, everyone. Except, not really, because I wasn't very thorough. I chose 2 random episodes of 2 different shows to try and prove my point, and I don't think that was enough. Every time I think back on that video, I think about an idea that I was really excited to test, but I kind of half-assed my way into the conclusion that I wanted to have from the beginning. So I decided to do this again, but bigger. 6 different shows, 3 episodes per show, 12 cups of coffee, and about 7 hours of my life I'll never get back. Here's how it went. I didn't just want to choose more shows this time, I also wanted to try and pick different types of shows. It's the same 2 categories as before, but I feel like there's some differentiation within each one. So let's start with Parks and Rec. It wouldn't be fair to say that Parks and Rec is underrated, but I do still feel like it's underappreciated because it will forever be stuck in the shadow of its older, more popular cousin. Like The Office, Parks and Rec was an NBC mockumentary that has continued to thrive due to its second life on Netflix, something I actually contribute partly to reaction gifs on the internet. The characters in this show are so strong that you can look at a silent, moving image of Ron Swanson without ever having watched an episode and know exactly who he is. And now you gotta know more about this guy, so you might as well watch all 126 episodes. Add in a bunch of home run casting choices and a perfectly satirized fictional town, and you end up with one of the funniest shows I've ever watched. Because of the fast pace of Parks and Rec, I expected to have the most jokes per episode of any of the ones on the list, but we'll see. I used 2 different random number generators to pick the episodes I'll be watching, which is what I'll be doing for the rest of the shows as well. Up next, Malcolm in the Middle. When I was like 9, my parents came home one day with season 1 of the show on DVD. I didn't want to watch it because for some reason my dumb kid brain got this confused with Miracle in Lane 2, a Disney Channel movie where Frankie Muniz rolls down a hill. Luckily, that's not what the DVD was, and we did watch it, and I fell in love. For the next few years, I would rewatch these episodes over and over again, wishing I could somehow watch the rest of the show, because I guess I was too stupid to realize they were still airing it on TV. I always thought my parents were lying when they said they couldn't buy season 2 on DVD, but years later I found out it was never released. Turns out it would have cost Fox too much money to pay for the music licenses from the show, and so after the first season, they never even bothered. Anyway, I watched season 1 when I was 9, and reruns of season 2 through 7 in high school. This show is so good, even in spite of the fact that 1/3 of every episode feels like a weak distraction that's sometimes hard to get invested in. Don't get me wrong, I loved Francis as a character, and I loved when he would come home and have interactions with the rest of the family, but in some episodes it's tempting to just fast forward through whatever he's got going on. I think the reason the show stands out so much is because it wasn't about a perfect family where things always work out. It's about these realistic, flawed characters who butt heads and end up in believably bad situations. A lot of the time, the humor comes from how things don't work out, even when it seemed like they would. That being said, I feel like Malcolm in the Middle was more of a slow burn rather than an onslaught of punchlines, so I'm curious to see how many jokes there are in here compared to the rest of the shows. The final single camera show I'm including is Schitt's Creek. The reason I'm choosing this one is because I've never watched it. I feel like if I only chose shows I loved, then I might come off as biased, and the whole point of this is to try and do the opposite. The only thing I know about Schitt's Creek is that one time they paid me $500 to make a Vine about it, but then everyone who did one had to post it on the same day, and it was a total disaster. But hopefully the show is good. Seems like a great cast, so I have pretty high expectations. All right, moving on to multicams. Let's start with the one that I think stands out most on this list, the IT Crowd. Hello. Well, I guess it doesn't actually stand out that much. It's just the only British show on here, and that makes it different. It's also probably the most conceptually simple out of all the shows on here. It's just 3 people who work in an IT department, and sometimes they do things. The season 2 premiere is probably my favorite episode of any show ever. The way the writers writers weaved each story together so that every character's plotline builds individually, but then they all collide at the end in the most beautiful way. It is art. It's one of the rare times in my life that I didn't actually mind the studio audience laughing along and applauding at the end because it felt so earned. I think the most memorable episodes of TV have this long, slow crescendo from start to finish, and the IT crowd usually perfected that. Up next, How I Met Your Mother. How I Met Your Mother premiered around the time when single camera shows were starting to have more success, and I think the general population was just about ready to move on from the old format. Because of that, the show feels like it has a foot in the door of both. It is technically a multi-camera sitcom, but the laugh track is really quiet and not too intrusive. It's like the studio audience is just whispering in the corner, like, don't worry guys, we're still here, but we're gonna keep it down. I haven't watched this show since it first aired, but I really enjoyed it at the time. They were definitely going for like a modern Friends vibe, and I think they do a pretty good job. Like every successful show, the reason How I Met Your Mother worked so well is because the writing is good and the characters are very well cast. I don't know if I'll enjoy it as much as I used to, but I guess I'll find out. Finally, The Big Bang Theory. That's right, baby. I brought out the big guns. What, you thought I would make a video about laugh tracks and not talk about the smash mouth of sitcoms? You were dead wrong. Often regarded as the pinnacle of both entertainment as well as humankind, The Big Bang Theory is a show about nerd and hot girl, and how those things make them different. I'm actually kind of excited to watch a few episodes of the show because it has so much lore around it at this point that I'm thinking there's no way it lives up to its reputation. Surely I'll laugh a few times, right? Regardless of how I feel about the jokes, though, I'm anticipating quite a bit of them. They might actually pull off an upset considering how often the studio audience starts going apeshit. So this is probably a good time to talk about the scoring system real quick. That was another thing I don't think I clarified well enough when I did this originally. I just started counting jokes all willy-nilly without ever defining what I viewed as a joke. So for multicams, it's pretty straightforward. If the audience laughs, a joke has been made. Every once in a while, something flies under the radar, but my thought process is if a choice was made by the writers that was meant to elicit a laugh, it counts as a joke. Sometimes lines have more than one joke in them because of the way they're worded. Sometimes a facial reaction or a body movement counts as a joke. It really just depends on the situation. If it's a show without a laugh track, I just try to imagine where the laughs would be inserted if there was.
I am voting for you.
You're not voting for yourself?
Leslie, you can't vote for yourself, I don't think. I'm pretty sure that's illegal. That's so funny.
Keep in mind, if you don't like my scoring system, you're more than welcome to try this out yourself. All you have to do is whip out a notebook and take all the fun out of watching TV. Best part of the video coming up, I'm about to say a bunch of numbers. So in Parks and Rec, first episode, I counted 133 jokes in 21 minutes, then 169 jokes in 27 minutes, and then 113 in 23 minutes. I had to re-roll for the last episode because I didn't realize at first that the one I landed on initially was twice as long as the usual episode, and I don't got time for that. Anyway, from those 3 episodes, that's an average of 5.8 jokes per minute. Malcolm in the Middle actually had the best out of any show. It's just a testament to how well written it is that they're able to jam so many jokes in there without you even realizing it sometimes. So I counted 131 jokes, then 122, then 133. All the episodes are 21 minutes. That's 6.1 jokes per minute on average. And in Schitt's Creek, kind of let me down, both numerically and also it just wasn't as funny as I thought it would be. It's very similar to Arrested Development plot-wise. It's a rich family who lost their fortune and now has to adjust to normal life. But where Arrested Development has this wide cast of varying characters, I feel like everybody in Schitt's Creek is just kind of the same person. Still pretty funny though. I laughed a few times. I like the little visual gags here and there, like them struggling with these giant menus in the pilot episode. But this one was the lowest out of the 3. I counted 111, 104, and then 112. All the episodes are 21 minutes. That's 5.2 jokes per minute. If you then average those 3 numbers together, that's about 5.7 jokes per minute in the 3 single camera shows that I watched. So now the shows with a laugh track. Starting with IT Crowd, I counted 110 jokes in 23 minutes, 137 jokes in 24 minutes, and then 106 jokes in 22 minutes. How I Met Your Mother ended up being the slowest paced show out of all of them. I counted 93, then 100, then 103. All the episodes are 21 minutes long, so that's about 4.7 jokes per minute. And then finally, The Big Bang Theory, as I predicted before, did have a lot of jokes per episode. I counted 92 in 18 minutes, 114 in 20 minutes, and then 104 in 19 minutes. So average of 5.4 jokes per minute. Better than Schitt's Creek, at least in terms of volume, but still not enough to bring the average of multicams up. Works out to be about 5 jokes per minute. So I guess all that time I spent watching these episodes and smelling this Sharpie because I couldn't find a regular pen was not put to waste, because now it's slightly stronger statistical evidence of what I tried to prove like 2 years ago. I think my biggest takeaway though is that The Big Bang Theory does have a lot of jokes. So I guess it's well written. All right, I got a rant about this shit. Watch this scene.
Water demon.
Ice dragon.
Lesser warlord of Ka'a.
That's 4 laugh tracks. and not a single joke was made. I feel like so much of the show is just nerdy guy is saying a science thing and it's funny because of how nerdy it sounds. And look, I laughed a few times during the show. It's not that all of the writing is terrible. Here's a joke I thought was really funny.
Babe, open up.
I'm not talking to you.
Then who you talking to?
It's just the constant laughing at nothing that drives me crazy. And I think that's a big reason why people are so turned off by laugh tracks. They're so overused in shows like this that it's hard to trust what you're actually watching. It's like Boy Who Cried laugh. You keep telling me something funny happened, but I don't see it. And then by the time something funny actually does happen, I don't believe it. The Big Bang Theory ran for 12 seasons, and it was on the air for so long that by the time it ended, TV culture had completely changed. There seem to be way fewer sitcoms made like this anymore. Hell, even their spin-off show Young Sheldon is shot in a completely different format. It's more narrative focused, there's no studio audience. It's actually insane to me that it spawned from this.
Hey, I brought Chinese.
And I brought Indian.
Even without my weird dumb math exercise, I think the general population has been subconsciously catching on to this for a while and is just not as interested in this kind of sitcom anymore. In fact, when I think back to some of the funniest shows that I've watched recently, a lot of them aren't even like straightforward comedies. Certain HBO shows like Barry and Silicon Valley, they're super funny and they're filled with comedic actors, but they also have this really compelling story going on in the background of all the jokes. Actually, the hardest I think I've laughed at a show recently is in Succession, which is this insanely well-written series with plot twists and these brutal backstabbing moments. And then there's this randomly hilarious scene with Greg and Tom that I can't play or this video would get age restricted. And I think maybe that's where we as an audience have slowly shifted over the past couple decades. I can't speak for everyone obviously because everybody has their own individual taste, but for me, there's something much more satisfying about the juxtaposition of emotional depth followed by jokes that break the tension. Good punchlines are important, but in order for you to actually care about what's going on, you need to get invested in the characters and their lives. Even in shows like Parks and Rec that have these relentlessly silly moments, they'll sometimes follow those up with a much more serious scene to flesh out the characters on an emotional level. Like watching this one episode, I'm sitting here counting joke after joke after joke, and then all of a sudden, there's a shift where the last minute or so, there's hardly any joke. Leslie wins the city council race that she's been on for the entire season up until that point, and so she gives this nice speech about how she couldn't have done it without the hard work of all her friends. They even have a great little detail in there where they show the part where she starts going off script and just speaking from the heart. And it ends up being this really nice, heartwarming moment that grounds an otherwise absurd show. And I think that's ultimately what keeps me coming back. You want to be invested in what's going on in the universe because when you are, all of the jokes are going to hit harder. To bring up Parks and Rec one last time, there's another really good scene in that episode where Leslie is having this conflicting moment because she's fulfilling a lifelong dream, but she also just found out her boyfriend might take a job that puts him several hundred miles away. You can feel the emotion on her face, you can empathize with her, and then Paul Rudd comes in to break the tension.
Leslie, I can't figure this thing out. Can you help me?
Yeah, just hang on a second, Bobby.
Ink all over my hands, and the pen thingy came off the chain.
And to me, at least, the most memorable shows strike that perfect balance between funny, but also compelling. There's always still going to be a place for more straightforward comedy shows with constant, shallow punchlines. It really just depends on what mood you're in. Sometimes you just want to laugh at something dumb. Sometimes you don't want to watch a show with emotional depth because it's like, I got my own shit going on, and now I got to care about these fictional characters too. It's interesting to me the way that television has slowly shifted away from the traditional sitcom. When you look at what's on TV right now, CBS is really the only major network with shows that still have laugh tracks in them. The other thing I notice a lot of these shows have in common is they almost all feature an old, random actor who's been around for a very long time. Matt LeBlanc, Patricia Heaton, Cedric the Entertainer. CBS's approach is so clearly like, we're gonna make shows with actors that you recognize from other shows using the same format of those shows. We realize our target demographic is people who hate change, and there's no point in trying to tailor to this new generation of people who's going to be more interested in Netflix and TikTok no matter what we do. Laugh tracks are hanging on by a thread, and I don't think it'll be much longer before we look back on this era like, hey, isn't that kind of weird that we used to do that? But like a lot of things in life, it made sense for a long time, and then eventually it didn't. People change, pop culture evolves, it's inevitable. I don't know about you guys, but the show Friends has taken on a brand new role in my life, in that the only time I watch it is when I'm trying to fall asleep. There's something about the static, predictable rhythm of sitcom audio at a very low volume that puts my mind at ease. So I guess that's all I really have to say about this topic. Though the other thing that drives me crazy about TV is the constant commercial breaks. Every time you get invested in what's happening, they cut to someone else who tries to sell you shit. And I hate it. The Drew Gooden channel will return after a word from our sponsor.
Hi,
I'm depressed, but you may know me as founder and CEO of pictureofhotdog.com, a website that was recently featured on Forbes' Top 1 Under 1 list. For the past several months, people have been raving about the delicious toppings available on my site, from mustard to pickle to basketball. We have options spanning almost none of the food groups. But through all the praise, one demand has remained consistent. The hot dog is simply in desperate need of a makeover. So I gave it one. Click the Make It Beautiful button to go see just how stunning this wiener can truly be. But Drew, you're dumb. How did you make a website? Well, I'll tell you. I used Squarespace. I believe it was Aristotle who once said that deep down everybody has a great idea for a website. And although I obviously just made that up, he would have had a pretty good point if he did. Squarespace is an easy-to-use all-in-one platform that'll help you turn your idea into a reality without any coding experience necessary. It's as simple as selecting a template from one of their great options and then just tweaking things from there until you're satisfied. You don't even have to worry about adjusting it for cell phone users either, because each template comes with a mobile-optimized version automatically. Whether your site is a landing page for your portfolio or a storefront that helps you profit off your work, Squarespace has every tool you could possibly need to make a website that looks and functions exactly the way you need it to. For about a year, I used to sell my own merch on a website I made with Squarespace, and it was a super seamless experience the entire time. They partner with ShipStation, which is a service that allowed me to print shipping labels in bulk and checked them off as I went, which saved me literally hours of work. You can set up multiple different payment methods and accepted currencies, and you can even have your customers create accounts so they can check out faster in the future, and so you can connect with them about any sales or new products you have that they might be interested in. These are just a few of their many great features, but I promise you, if you're trying to make a website, Squarespace is going to help you do it. To get started with a 7-day free trial, head to squarespace.com, and when you're ready to launch your brand new website, use promo code DREW for 10% off your first purchase. Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video, and now you guys may go check out my new beautiful hot dog. I know you're dying to see it. It's a good thing commercials are only on TV and not on the internet. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. It means a lot that you're willing to look at and or listen to me for about 10 to 20 minutes at a time. Be sure to tune in next week for a video where I do the same exact exercise as I did in this one, only instead of sitcoms, I go back and count all the jokes in my own YouTube videos. Not to spoil anything, but I hear the number ends up being so much lower than I was hoping that it makes me cry, and I quit making YouTube videos.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey guy. Gender reveal parties are the world's stupidest tradition. What probably just started as an innocent excuse to throw a pregnancy party with your friends has transformed into this never-ending competition to try to find the most destructive and dangerous way to announce that your child is gonna have a penis. Now, I'm not normally one to shit on people's innocuous hobbies, unless it's pretending to do magic or listening to Kids Bop or cutting a bagel weird. Okay, maybe I do that. But in general, if you're doing something and it's not harming anyone, I'm not gonna take up too much issue with that. And for the most part, I think gender reveal parties tend to be pretty harmless. Maybe you just eat a pink cake with your family, or you all huddle around your dog waiting to see what color his shit is because you fed him some food coloring, and then everyone cheers when he finally poops. And he's confused, but he likes the attention. I'm sure there are plenty of ways to celebrate your fetus child that don't involve the destruction of property. The problem is, like a lot of things that end up on social media, gender reveal parties have turned into this quest to one-up everyone. Whenever an idiotic stunt goes viral, most people probably look at it like, wow, that was dumb that they did that. But some people look at it as an opportunity. They got 1 million views for making a piñata explode? I'm gonna set my grandparents on fire. If the smoke is pink, we're having a girl. Don't get me wrong, I love my family, but the only thing more important to me than their well-being is the possibility of becoming a Twitter moment for 4 hours. Now, I'm sure you've already heard about what I'm referencing, but it just makes me so angry that I had to come on here and talk about it. There is a wildfire in California, is, not was, because so far they've only been able to contain like 7% of it, that's burned about 10,000 acres and forced people to evacuate their homes, all because someone set off a pyrotechnic device at a gender reveal party in the middle of the woods. Because everyone knows the best place to set off fireworks is next to a bunch of trees. According to a surveillance video, the family could be seen afterwards scrambling and grabbing water bottles, which, believe it or not, was not enough to put it out. I am continually shocked by people who underestimate how quickly a fire can start and immediately become out of control. Especially in California, during a heat wave, the air is as dry as it can be, you're surrounded by foliage. What did you think would happen? I'm sure the family will try to plead that this was an accident, but I don't know if this even counts as one.
I am upset that people are stupid.
As idiotic and as preventable as this wasn't even the first time a giant fire was caused by a gender reveal party. A couple years ago, an off-duty Border Patrol agent shot a target he made that said boy girl on it, and because it was filled with an explosive illegal substance and placed right next to the world's most flammable plant, things went a little south. It took over 2 weeks to extinguish the fire and cost the city about $8 million in damages, but the good news is, it's a boy. I was curious what ended up happening to this guy, so I did a little bit more digging. Turns out he got off really easy. He didn't get arrested and was only fined $200,000, which is a lot of money, of course, but a pretty insignificant fraction of the damage that he caused. Like almost nothing in the grand scheme of things. Now, I don't feel bad for this guy at all. But apparently someone did because they started a GoFundMe for him. Help Border Patrol Agent Dad. He said it was the worst day of his life. Oh man, I hadn't even considered that. Order in the court. All right, I'll give the defendant one last chance to plead his case before I sentence him to 100 years in prison. Oh, well, one thing I forgot to say was, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to steal the school bus and run over all those people. I was just having a bad day. I can't stay mad at you. All right, I'll give you 45 minutes of house arrest and this coupon to Bath and Body Works. Court dismissed. I don't know if you guys have noticed this or not, but there's actually a lot of fires going on already. It's just kind of one of those things that happens now where every summer the entire west coast of America has a different color sky than the rest of it. You know what we don't need right now? More fires. What was it that bear used to always say? Only you care about the gender of your baby, please put down the explosive device. It's just so infuriating to me, all of this unnecessary destruction of wildlife, so much damage that is caused by the selfish actions of one person. Now, you might be thinking, well, at least no one died, right? Well, you wouldn't even be right about that. Last year, someone actually did die at a gender reveal party because they didn't realize how powerful the bomb they made would be.
Marion County Sheriff Jason Sandholt describes the device designed to explode colored powder into a puff of smoke revealing the gender of the baby.
You were right. It's a girl. Hey, so Grandma's funeral is this weekend?
A horrible accident, something that's really just terrible. Who can expect such a terrible loss to happen when somebody's trying to celebrate and welcome a life?
You know, it's a real tragedy what happened. They did everything right, too. You detonate a homemade pipe bomb from not that far away. You don't expect no one's head to come flying off, but I guess crazier things have happened, right? Wait, this ain't going on TV, is it? That means in 2019, at least one person was killed by a gender reveal party. I was doing some research. You know how many people were killed by dinosaurs in 2019? 0. And they're giant monsters! Gender reveal parties are statistically more dangerous than dinosaurs. Anyway, so this happened in Iowa, and it was pretty big news at the time, but apparently not big enough. Because the very next day, in a town 20 miles away, someone else almost died at a gender reveal party. What the fuck is going on? Now, if you're like me, you might be wondering, how are so many people getting access to explosives? What is there, like a website you can go to where you can just order one for yourself? Yes. There is. For the low price of just 99 American dollars, you too can order your very own Tannerite gender reveal boombox. It shouldn't be this easy. No wonder this keeps happening. You can't trust the average person with this kind of power. Most people can't even handle a party popper. How do you expect them to handle real explosives? Knowing this, I'm actually surprised more people haven't died at gender reveal parties. Apparently last year, shortly after these instances, a plane crashed at one after a pilot dropped 350 gallons of pink water. Miraculously, both people on board survived with very minimal injuries. I guess they're invincible. And I haven't even shown you guys the gator reveals yet. Can you guess what state this happened in? That's right. The one where I live. I think this last one really sums up the attitude that people have about these kinds of things.
Gender reveal party in Boardman leads to a call to police. Officers were called to the Applebee's restaurant Monday night for a fight that broke out between staff and a large group of customers. A manager told officers a group of 20 people came to the restaurant with confetti poppers, and she asked them to go outside so they wouldn't disturb other guests. The manager says they left a mess behind, and when she asked them to clean it up, a fight broke out and menus were thrown. The incident tonight remains under investigation.
What do you mean I have to clean up all this blue confetti that I shot on private property? I'll kick your ass. I feel like this is so indicative of the problem that America's having right now, where people are just so self-absorbed that their celebration is more important than your convenience, or even worse, your safety. Sorry I burned down your house, Deborah. Can't you just be excited we found out about the genitals on my baby? Again, I'm not here to stand in the way of your weird little tradition. If you want to pop a balloon to see what color smoke comes out so you can start imposing a personality on your unborn child, then do it, I guess. But if you knowingly take part in something that has the potential to put other people in harm's way, and you still do it because it's kind of fun for you, you are selfish and you suck. I think I would attribute some, but not all of the blame to family vloggers who, when they're having their own gender reveal parties, probably feel this obligation as content creators to make it as extravagant as possible. For them, the gender reveal party is just one of the many pieces of content you get to milk out of every pregnancy. When most people find out they're pregnant, it's like, oh shit, we're gonna have to spend a lot more money. But when family vloggers find out they're pregnant, it's like, oh shit, we're about to make a lot more money. As an example, here is just one family's pregnancy content journey. Mom's pregnant. Mom still pregnant. Looking at the baby. Guessing the gender. Gender reveal. Gender reveal part 2. Baby training. Another gender reveal. Baby name, baby doctor again, baby name again, baby got feet. Side note, this is some extremely ominous clickbait. Belly getting big, belly at the doctor, belly on the bed, the baby's coming out, baby shower, baby hurtin', the official baby mama dance, and labor, birth, baby, you get the idea. No shade to this family, they're just living their lives. I'm not saying that they're having babies just to get content out of them. That would require an almost impressive amount of commitment. All I'm saying is it probably doesn't hurt knowing that every positive pregnancy test comes with 4 videos and about 20 million views focused solely on whether it's a boy or a girl. And this is why, in spite of the destruction that often gets caused, I think gender reveal parties are not going away anytime soon. For content creators, it's money in the bank, and for everyone else, it's the spectacle of it. If we're trying to get a video that people are gonna go crazy for and share with their friends, a little bit of confetti just ain't gonna cut it. So honey, grab the camera, grandma, you light the fuse, and everybody else, buckle up. Because we're getting Facebook views. So I guess that's pretty much it. With everything going on in the world, I decided to donate the AdSense money from this video to that one guy's GoFundMe. I think he really needs our help. Just kidding, I'm gonna try to find some relief fund for the wildfires that are going on the West Coast. I'm not sure which one yet, but when I do, I'll put the description in the link. Put the description in the link! I'll put the link in the description, and if you have any recommendations, comment those down below. Although now that I think about it, this video probably won't be monetized because YouTube doesn't seem to like it when I talk about current events that have tragic aspects to them. So if that happens, I'll just donate some of the money from my brand deal instead. Hey, speaking of brand deal, I may not have technically finished college, but that doesn't mean I didn't still owe them a bunch of money after I left. A lot of people find themselves in situations like that where even though they can afford to make monthly payments, their interest rate is so high that they're barely making a dent. Or you might be stuck in debt with a bunch of high interest rate credit cards, and again, you're throwing a bunch of money away on interest every month. Or maybe you owe the government a bunch of money because you accidentally burned down an entire city. If you find yourself in one of these situations, then Upstart is here to help. Upstart can provide you with a fixed interest rate loan to help consolidate credit card debt. A big thing that stands out about them is their approval process goes a lot deeper than just your FICO credit score, which a lot of the time doesn't tell the whole story, especially if you're young. A lot of people my age and younger have trouble getting loans simply because you don't have a very long history of credit. It's something you have to build over time. But Upstart will look at other factors like your education, your job history, even your college major, things that other lenders wouldn't even factor in, but can help show that you're a good candidate for a loan. Upstart is entirely online, so you don't have to go to a bank and wait in line, only for some guy in khakis to tell you that your credit sucks. The loans can range from $1,000 to $50,000, and even if you're just curious to see what kind of interest rate you could get, it only takes a few minutes to apply and it won't affect your credit score. Plus, if your loan gets approved, most people end up with the funds in their account the following business day. Over 400,000 people have used Upstart to consolidate their debt and help achieve their financial goals. Find out why Trustpilot has given them a 4.9 rating out of 5 and go to upstart.com/Drew to see how low your rate can be. How did he explode? Thank you so much for watching today's video, guy. I do want to say, if you're having a baby, that is absolutely something to celebrate. I'm very happy for you. Congrats on becoming a parent. That's a big deal. My whole life, I've been looking forward to becoming a dad. Even when I was a kid, I'd be like, you know, I suck at everything, but you know what I would be good at? Being a dad. I can't wait for that day. And when it happens, you better believe I'm gonna be just as excited as every single one of these people. But all I'm saying is, you know, maybe channel that excitement into something that isn't arson. That's all. Well, anyway, thanks for sticking around till the end of the video. You have a great attention span. I will see you back here first thing tomorrow morning for a brand new video where I teach you how to remove your fingerprints and put them on your toes. All right, bye. Wow. Finally, my collection's complete. Hey guys, welcome back to the Drew Gooden Variety Show. This is something I do once every 2 years, where I take a bunch of unrelated shit and inexplicably put all of it in the same video. Enjoy. Ow!
I've made a severe...
Boxing is one of the most hardcore sports that there is. I'd probably put it at number 2, just behind MMA fighting, but it gets pretty rough out there. Cause like, yeah, people punch each other in other sports, but usually they're not supposed to do that. They get ejected from the stadium when that happens. And then they get a little fine in the mail that says, how dare you make a mockery out of this sport, where everyone puts on colorful outfits and tries to hug each other as hard as they can. This is serious. But boxing is different. The violence is encouraged. It's purposely aggressive, which is why it's so funny to me when there's this much sexual tension before a fight. Don't worry, I did not spend $50 to watch that fight. I also didn't pirate it illegally because I'm a law-abiding citizen and I couldn't find a link that worked. What I did was watch a live reaction of someone else who was watching the fight. And I gotta say, definitely got my money's worth. But of course, the fun didn't stop at Paul v. Mayweather. This past weekend, we had the official YouTube versus TikTok showdown. That's right, the non-existent platform war has finally crescendoed into a series of organized fistfights. And just to be clear, this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not sure I understand the point of that disclaimer, but I'm not sure I understand the point of any of this. And the lineup was incredible. You had Tanner Fox, Vinny Hacker, Ryland's, okay, I don't know who any of these people are. For a second I got excited because I thought Dance Gavin Dance was involved, but then I realized I read the letters in the wrong order. But headlining the event was Bryce Hall, the ultimate TikTok fuckboy, and Mr. Ace Family himself. This is gonna be good.
I'm Superman. I'm 21. I'm at my prime right now. Look at me. I'm gonna knock out Austin because I'm an actual fighter, and I got 2 guns right here.
Okay, first of all, 21 is not the prime of your life. I'd say it's more like 8, because it's pretty much all downhill from there. Second of all, those aren't guns, my dude. Those are your arms. Trust me, I checked. Maybe that's why I ended up getting his ass kicked. Austin started punching him and he was like, I'm sorry, I thought we were doing an old-fashioned cowboy duel. I must have misread the poster. Also, when is Dance Gavin Dance performing? Now, you might have noticed that there's a bit of a theme to the lineup of guys who are involved in these events. Most of them are creators who have essentially made a name for themselves by being someone that people don't like. And when you've run out of ways to get everyone talking about you by pissing them off, the natural next step is to charge them money to see you get punched in the face. And you know what? It works. It's the personification of not being able to look away from a train wreck, only instead of trains running into each other, it's 2 people who make shitty internet content. Like, I can't stand Austin McBroom, but I wasn't mad when he gave Bryce a bloody nose. At the end of the day, I've got a dumb little caveman brain. I can't help what I like. Now, I have seen a lot of people criticize these events by calling them a disgrace to boxing. You're taking what is a very prestigious sport with a lot of history and honor attached to it, and you're turning it into a joke. And I understand that. There have been examples in the past of people disrespecting the art of fighting, and it ends up getting them kicked in the face. So I'm not saying you're wrong to think that way. All I'm saying is that watching Aaron Carter, a disgraced former pop star, get in the ring with Lamar Odom, a 6'10" retired NBA power forward, is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. Lamar makes Aaron look like a 9-year-old boy, just swinging his arms around as hard as he can. He had to jump off of the ground in order for his fists to reach his face. Even the commentators were laughing.
Aaron got a spin technique going. Watch out, Aaron, run.
Can you guess who won the fight? I'll give you a hint. It wasn't Aaron Carter. And you might say, well, that's not fair. Aaron is way smaller than him. And that's true. But he knew that before agreeing to do the fight. It's not like he got unexpectedly mugged outside his home. He knew the stakes, and he was very confident going into it.
I'm gonna eat him so bad, people are gonna be like, did you watch Aaron Carter? He could take Conor McGregor.
You done messed up, Aaron!
So like Bryce Hall, he got what was coming to him, a few punches to the face, and more importantly, a big old check. You can hate these events as much as you want, and I certainly don't blame you. But this is not the end of YouTuber boxing, this is only the beginning. Out of all the social media apps, I would say Instagram provides the least amount of actual substance. 90% of what I consume on there is stories, which is content that the person posting them deemed not important enough to live in a permanent space. And I'll sit there for hours watching all of it. But Instagram also has probably the worst learning algorithm when it comes to figuring out what kind of content you want to see. Like, I follow a few football pages and I am a person, so, you know, I'll occasionally eat some food. So Instagram takes all of that information and says, here you go, I've got just the thing for you. Sports and food and sports and food and sports and food and sometimes Brent Rivera. How did you get here? That's my entire Explore page. That's all I get. Billions of dollars have been invested into machine learning technology, and the only thing that this machine has learned about me is that sometimes I'm hungry. And I feel like at this point, for me at least, it's broken beyond repair, because sometimes I do click on the things they show me, which they interpret as awesome. We knew you'd like that. More of that is on the way. But how am I supposed to click on something else if you never show me anything else? Anyway, that's my algorithm rant. My point is the majority of my Explore page is videos of food, which led me to this account called Keto Snacks.
I just take 2 hamburger patties and put all of my toppings in the middle. This is so much healthier than using bread, and it is so bussin'. Oh my God.
Real quick, if you don't know what keto is, basically it's when you try to cut out carbs and sugar and replace that with mostly meat and fat. There are plenty of videos out there that will explain it more scientifically and compare and contrast the health benefits, but that's the diet in a nutshell. And it seems like it's gotten a lot more popular recently, partly because a lot more people are doing it, and partly because a lot of people are making fun of them for doing it. Personally, I'm not nearly healthy enough to judge anybody for participating in a diet that involves a lot of impulse control, because that's the thing I'm most bad at. Why do you think I'm always out here wearing hoodies in the summer? It's because I don't like my body. But I still think it can be pretty fun to make fun of how absurd some of these videos are. The first one I saw from Keto Snacks was this.
Let's make the easiest keto lunch ever. You're just gonna take a block of cream cheese and add some everything but the bagel. Oh my God.
And I was like, okay, that's hilarious. He's parodying all of the keto Instagrammers and TikTokers. Spoonful of cream cheese, so delicious. But then when I explored more of his page, I realized, wait, most of this isn't parody. Candied bacon thing, lots of pizza life hacks where it's just more cheese and more meat and no dough. But then I'll see one like this.
Let's make my favorite keto snack ever. You're just gonna cut up a stick of butter, dip it in some mayo, and oh my gosh, this is so bussin'.
It's like, okay, well that has to be a joke. But 90% of his page is serious recipes. So then when I get to those, I'm almost not sure if it's real or not. Also, I love how he describes everything that's good as bussin'.
This was straight bussin'. This is so bussin'. This is one of the most bussin' combinations ever.
Sometimes it's almost like he's arguing with himself though.
This is bussin'. You want to know what's really bussin'?
This is so bussin'.
No, it's not.
What?
You want to know what's really bussin'?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Eggs.
Again, some of these are really interesting, pretty creative, and then he'll just do one that's like life hack. Put a slice of cheese on a slice of meat. Bet you never thought about that. But what I really love that he does is he has all of these funny nicknames for things.
Straubs, bloobs, sugar-free whipped cream.
Blueberries? No, we don't say that around here. Bloobs? Now that's bussin'. He'll throw them out super unexpectedly, too.
Now you just add half a cup mozzarella, some seasonings.
Okay.
And the key to making
Normal so far.
for a super easy cleanup. Now you're just gonna spray it with hairspray, top your mix with pepperonis.
Hairspray? It's not that funny, but I scroll through the comments and almost no one is addressing it. So I'm like, I'm going crazy over here. Like, did he actually use hairspray? But the greatest moment in all of his videos was without a doubt this.
You're just gonna cut an avocado in half and remove the wooden ball, and remove the wooden ball, remove the wooden ball.
The little wooden ball. See, I always thought that was the pit. It was like a little seed that grows inside with the avocado, but that's not the case. Turns out all of the farmers who distribute avocados actually put a little wooden ball inside to piss us off. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say about that guy. You can see now why I couldn't make a whole video about him, but I thought those were funny and wanted to share them with the class.
You wanna know what's really bussin'?
Finally, a few of you have been sending me a new BuzzFeed quiz that I'm really excited about. No, it's not what kind of garbage are you, or this BuzzFeed quiz about BuzzFeed quizzes. Both great options, but I've always thought, you know, in this world, you're either a Danny Gonzalez or a Drew Gooden, and I think today is the day we find out which. Hi, Danny.
Hi.
How's it going?
I decided to wear a hat today, and I was worried that I was going to be the only one wearing a hat today, but then it turns out you're wearing one too. So
I couldn't help but notice that your hat is Chicago and your shirt says Nashville. So what the fuck?
No, the C on my hat doesn't stand for Chicago.
Oh, I thought
It stands.
It stands for
country boy.
Oh, okay. I know that your mentions have been blowing up with this BuzzFeed quiz.
Yeah, actually, it's been really fun. I've gotten a lot of people saying that they've gotten me in the quiz, which makes me really happy.
Yeah, and people have told me that they've gotten me, and that makes me angry.
People have like a 50% chance of getting you in this quiz, but it still makes you mad because they're like jacking your style or something.
Absolutely fuming.
Okay, so this quiz is called In This World, You're Either a Danny Gonzalez or a Drew Gooden. I don't know if I really agree with that premise.
That you're either one or the other, and there's no other possibilities?
Yeah.
Well, especially from my point of view, I don't want anyone to be me, so ideally everybody is Danny Gonzalez.
And you know what, to be honest, I don't like feeling left out, so I would also prefer everyone to be me as well.
See, we are different.
Yeah, because you're not a country boy.
Yeah, no, I'm a little bitch.
Do you think that's gonna be the first quiz, actually?
In this world, you're either a country boy or a little bitch. Question number 1, choose some pants. Jeans or shorts?
Right off the bat, this is a really tough question.
Is it?
Well, it just depends on the weather, right? Like, I feel like I wear jeans when it's cold out and shorts when it's hot.
Sometimes I wear neither, like when I'm sleeping or in the shower. On what occasion? Is this a hot summer day or am I naked and wet?
Yeah. I suppose if I had to pick one to wear for the rest of my life, I guess I'd pick jeans because I don't want my legs to get cold.
Well, just to be different, I'm definitely gonna pick shorts then, so.
Whoa, wait, what?
I don't think I've ever worn this hat in a video.
Okay, well, I don't own any red hats, so I am gonna pick blue.
Yeah, I have to pick red. I mean, it's too coincidental not to.
Choose a topic to discuss. I can't decide which one is supposed to be which, because I know you've made like a video about Vin Diesel before.
But we both made a video about Jeremy Renner, so I could see, I would guess that I make videos about someone famous and you make videos about a bad movie. What would you rather drink?
I think you're pretty outspoken on your channel about being a big milkshake guy, right?
I did make that 7-part series about my favorite milkshake flavors. I'm surprised one of these isn't LaCroix, though. You're sort of a famous LaCroix connoisseur.
I wonder if the person who made this quiz doesn't know what LaCroix is, because some people don't know and they just see it in a can and think it's gonna be soda. Because I've had a lot of people say, like, I tried LaCroix for the first time because you keep raving about it and it was disgusting. And it's like, well, yeah, obviously if you don't like sparkling water, you're not gonna like LaCroix, but they think it's gonna be like a tasty soda drink.
Yeah, with like sugar in it and flavor, and it's just like licking the outside of a lime is kind of what LaCroix tastes like the first time. I guess milkshake, I don't know, I mean...
You know what I'm kind of worried about? Like, all of these questions are just kind of random and don't have anything to do with either of us, and it just like randomly assigns you one of us at the end.
Maybe this is like the default quiz questions when you make one, and they made the title and then accidentally clicked done. And it's like, oh, whoops. Choose a place you'd rather go for a date.
I'm noticing a bit of a trend here, but I'm going to pick restaurant.
Okay.
But I feel like I'm picking all of the left answers and you're picking all of the right answers.
I'm starting to notice that as well. These could all be based on location. You live in a colder state, I live in a warmer state. I wear shorts and I eat outdoors, and you wear jeans and eat indoors.
And I wear blue cap because it's cold, and you wear red cap because it's hot.
Red is infamously the color of fire.
You know what is weird is that I'm wearing a blue cap with a red emblem. And
Stop
you're wearing a red cap.
We accidentally dressed as the inverse of each other today.
Wait, are you wearing shorts right now? I feel like this quiz is simultaneously really nailing us and also not. Like, I'm not known for wearing jeans and you're known for wearing shorts, but we just happen to be wearing them today.
I am suddenly terrified of this person's ability to see the future.
Actually, I'm looking out the window. There's a guy with a laptop right outside, and looks like he's filling out the answers to this quiz as we're sitting here.
No, I don't have that for me. I do see someone looking at me with binoculars and jerking off, but that's probably unrelated. Okay, this one, I guess I could see the logic in. Would you rather sing or dance? You are known for your music, you sing. I was just watching again our video about the principal's office, and I did dance on You.
And I was singing during that too. I was like, yeah! I mean, I get that I have a young face a lot too, so maybe the fact that it's a child singing has something to do with it.
Yeah. Are you a child singing or a grown-up dancing? And then last question, which emoji are you?
Apple or apple?
You're reading they're crediting Apple for the
No,
emoji.
I think they think that each of these emojis are apples.
I could see the one on the right being a tree with apples in it. Maybe those aren't ornaments, those are apples hanging from the tree.
And this one is sort of like a wave of apple juice.
Yeah. The Christmas one makes sense because I guess we make videos about Christmas movies, but we both do that. Have you ever been open about how you like to surf?
I don't like to surf. I don't know if I've said this in videos, but like my ideal vacation is like a beach vacation where I just like sit on the beach and do nothing. So
I mean, the fact that you started that sentence with, I don't know if I've said this in a video, but that goes with the theme. I have never made it public that I have a red hat, that I'm wearing shorts right now, or that it is Christmas in my house.
I mean, I've been to your house, so I know this, but a lot of people don't know. If you were to open that door behind you, it's like a winter wonderland back there. It's just like Christmas trees and elves and...
Well, I don't want to let it in.
When you open the door in the video, can you edit in like a growling sound effect and then like you quickly shut it?
Christmas Wonderland, aka the
abdominal snowman.
He's all stomach. And wouldn't you know it, I got me.
Ooh, I got me.
Hell yeah.
I guess you can't see my screen, so you're just gonna have to take my word for it.
Yeah. You wouldn't lie to me about that, right?
Yeah, I got what's the other Danny? I got Danny.
Yeah, Drew, or what's the other guy's name? You're extremely hardworking. Thank you, but not true. And also, I'm dreaming of the day when the commentary genre will be all mine. All mine.
You're more Danny. You're a person of many talents, and you're constantly raising the bar.
Oh.
So it didn't really say anything like that on yours. I guess you're hardworking. You definitely try.
Yeah, I try my darndest.
You're always down to watch a knockoff movie and sip a limoncello LaCroix.
Okay, I think that goes with your theory of they thought LaCroix was a soda.
You're dreaming of the day when people don't think you're the roadwork guy from the roadwork Vine. Any random person that filled this out who's just a fan of us two is also dreaming of the day that people won't think they're the roadwork guy. Imagine taking this quiz without knowing who either of us are.
I did notice at the bottom, BuzzFeed quizzes have a what do you think? So most people are like, cute, LOL, but a few people are like, what the fuck? I assume some people have no idea who we are, filled it out regardless, and then they're like, I am not dreaming of the day when the commentary genre will be all mine.
A couple people, had their hearts broken by this quiz.
No. I got Danny, but I've always seen myself as having Drew qualities, so that person was definitely heartbroken.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, I think it pretty succinctly showed the differences between us. I mean, you're a jeans guy, I'm a shorts guy. Wait.
And your name's Drew, my last name's Gonzalez.
I'm drinking a milkshake, but I'm drinking a soda.
And I'm a country boy.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time with another really interesting video where I fall in a vat of toxic sludge, and when I come out, I have a horrible medical condition, and the rest of my life is ruined. This video is over now.
That's so sad.
I should say something else.
Hey guys, welcome back to the middle of the jungle. Someone please help me, I'm stuck. If you've been wondering where I've been for the past few weeks, I've been working on a stupidly long video about a topic that's only interesting to me, but I was starting to get overwhelmed, so I wanted to kick back and unwind with some good old-fashioned social media. So I scrolled through Twitter for a bit, got bored, headed over to Instagram, checked out some Reels, which are just stolen TikToks, and got bored again. Forgot I had already closed Twitter and accidentally opened it back up, only immediately to close out of it again, and then I started to get desperate. Sometimes you you just gotta stare at your phone, mouth wide open, brain off. The only two body parts moving are your thumb and your eyelids while you consume the most brain-dead content the internet has to offer. And then I remembered about Snapchat, the perfect app for this. I was never really a big Snapchat user back in the day. By the time I was even interested in an app like that, Instagram had already poached all their good features, so I would just send my dick pics on there. But every so often, I love to come back and revisit Snapchat's Discover page, because it is literally, and I'm not exaggerating here, the dumbest corner of the entire internet. You know how when you go to the grocery store, there's all those tabloid magazines in the checkout line with the most gossipy-ass headlines like, Brad Pitt admitted into rehab for stinky farts? Jennifer Aniston dumped. Here's why she deserved it. Will Smith adopts himself? That's basically all Snapchat is now, except with the Kardashians, James Charles, and Jeffree Star. And also the Dobre brothers dressing up as Jeffree Star. It's never anything interesting or that's even remotely a big deal. It'll just be like, Charlie D'Amelio messed up big time. And then you click on it expecting even the smallest amount of interesting drama, and they're like, well, actually what she did wasn't that bad, and no one's even upset about it, but we did find one tweet of a guy being mad at her. Way to go, Charlie. I love when they do this. Courtney's IG pic made Travis flirty. Okay, I gotta see what they're talking about. What did he do? And then it's an entire article explaining how he commented yes on one of her pictures. Yup, that's 5 S's. Calm down there, Travis. That's gotta be the thirstiest comment I've ever seen. Nobody thought YK Osiris would go from singing to this. Gotta see what it is. Must be something crazy, right? YK Osiris wanna be in an Old Spice commercial so bad. Oh, and then that's it. This is awesome. Yeah, so pretty much everything on Snapchat is clickbait, and everyone who goes on here knows that it's clickbait, but you still click on stuff anyway, because like I said, we on empty brain mode. Even the things that aren't celebrity related feed into this. Snapchat knows its user base so well. I don't want to have to think when I'm on here, just show me crazy world records. Longest underwater kiss? He planked for 8 hours? I mean, I do that every night, but okay. Guess I forgot to tell Guinness about it. But I want to see that dumb shit. Show me fail compilations. I want to see someone fall down. And then I want to see someone fall down. And then I want to see someone else fall down. What if a guy fell down? And what if you showed me a video of someone falling down? People are constantly falling down, and if I don't get to see that, I'm literally gonna fall down. I feel like the headlines totally miss the point most of the time too. Like, this is that guy who builds a bunch of cool stuff without any modern tools. And their big takeaway was, your own outdoor pool? Like, that's what's crazy about this? We've all built our own pools by hand before, but this one is outside? I'd never heard of that. My pools are always inside, right next to my bed, so when I wake up, I accidentally fall in. And then it's like I'm in my very own fail compilation. One thing they do that's really weird too is they'll randomly throw in stories from people you don't know or follow and make it seem like that's news too. Whoa, I gotta see what this guy has to say. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I'm really glad this is on my homepage. It never really ends either. You just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling forever. Okay, I made it into the foreign languages, so it looks like we're done. Oh, we're back to English. Okay, I guess they found some more. I like to think that the Snapchat employees can see you scrolling, so they start desperately trying to throw out random shit just to fill the space. Oh shit, they're almost at the bottom. Quick, think of something. Something about your fingerprints? Perfect, put that in. What I really love about Snapchat right now, though, is all of the familiar faces that are starting to pop up. There's The Magic Show, a series headed up by none other than friend of the channel, Reclax. More on that later. And then, of course, a lot of you have been messaging me lately that they recently partnered with the Hooked app to show that Trevor and the Virgin story that used to be advertised before every single YouTube video for a year. It's now been rebranded as a Snap original called First Time's a Charm, even though it's actually the second time because it's the same exact videos but split up into shorter episodes. Martha's night takes an unexpected turn, unless of course this is the 30th time you've seen this, in which case the turn was very expected. The only thing new about this is that they've cropped the whole thing into portrait mode, which makes for some awesome extreme close-ups. I'm not gonna watch this again, because I already did that, but I am curious what's gonna happen when they run out of clips to use. They're almost at that point. Are they gonna film more? Or is it just gonna keep getting syndicated on different platforms like their Seinfeld reruns? I'll give it about 6 months until we see this pop up as a Facebook Watch exclusive. It's kind of redundant for Snapchat to even add in these hook shows because they've already been ripping off their format with their own series called Phony Texts, which is a funny pun because it's like saying you sent a computery email. But these texts are phony because they're not real. They all tell different stories about a variety of topics. Sometimes it's Prince Charming being a douchebag, or someone's parents forgetting to tell them that they moved like 6 months ago and sold all their stuff. But this next story is one that I truly think is Oscar worthy, if one of the Oscar categories was text-based Snapchat film. It's called Seeking, and there are so many insane twists in here. I'm watching it like, M. Night Shyamalan. Who? He's a movie director. What? Yeah, he made like The Happening, Sixth Sense. I know who he is. That's why I brought him up. Oh, I thought you would put a comma after his name, like M. Night Shyamalan. Who? That's not how people ask questions. Yeah, okay. I just meant he's known for always throwing in crazy twists, and this story also does this for a twist. I guess I should probably take it from here. So the story starts off with this girl being like, you hickied me. How dare you? And they're flirting back and forth. The whole thing's pretty steamy, which is probably why I got a notification that my heart rate spiked. She catches him in a lie here by pointing out his location, which is important to remember for the future. So file that away. Do not forget about that. And then comes twist number 1. A text from his wife? I thought he already was talking to his wife. Either this story takes place in Utah or he's been cheating. Gotta say, pretty good character development though so far. You already know 2 things about him: that he cheats and he lies. He just lied to Elizabeth and now he's lying to his wife about being home with his daughter. So he's a bad husband, boyfriend, and dad. So far, not really rooting for him at all. I hope he is punished by the universe. Yep, I'm home. Oh good, I was getting worried. Julia isn't responding to my texts. She's just finishing her homework. Very focused. Oh good, you guys hungry? Happy to pick something up. Okay, let me check. Hi, my princess. I'll be home in a minute. Told Mom you finished your homework. Oh, and do you want food? Hello, Dennis. Haha, hello, Julia. We have your daughter, Julia. Twist number 2. There's been a kidnap. Again, though, I don't really feel too much sympathy for this guy. I mean, I didn't want his daughter to be kidnapped, but like, it is kind of entirely his fault. Answer the phone, Julia. Julia can't talk right now. Call me right now. Oh, okay. Julia, is this a prank? Did you set the camera up on a tripod and then get into a trunk with your hands tied up and put it on self-timer so it takes a photo of you? And then from 4 feet away, send me this picture in a text? Dennis is starting to freak out, so he threatens to call the cops. Until twist number 3. He can't call the police because he's being blackmailed. The kidnapper, or Julia talking in third person and still doing a prank, knows about his secret girlfriend. And if he calls the cops, they're gonna send that picture to his wife. Classic conundrum. Not right now, wife. I gotta figure out more lies because of the trouble I've caused with my other lies. Hello? Do you want food? Oh no, that is okay. Julia and I are gonna run out and get some food. Feel like I don't get enough father-daughter time. And then he uses the default smiley face emoji, which no one has ever used before. Okay, when will you be home? Love you. He's nailing this. So then Dennis finds out the terms of the blackmail. $10,000 by 6 p.m. or the daughter gets it. Elizabeth has no idea that any of this is happening, so she's still trying to flirt. But this is where that location feature from earlier comes back. Did you file that away like I told you to? I swear to God, if you forgot. Anyway, using the help of Elizabeth and her 2 hickeys, they find out that Julia is 2 hours away at a place called Burger Palace. But something's not adding up. The kidnapper said if he gave them the money by 6 p.m., they'd return her safely home immediately afterwards. But how could they do that if they're 2 hours away? Change of plans. We are tired of waiting. Please, you will get your money. When? Before 6 p.m., like we agreed. Please don't hurt Julia. She's my whole world. That's why I lied to my wife and left her home alone. She's my whole world. Eventually, he admits it's all his fault and realizes he has no choice but to pay them. So he opens up Venmo and starts to put in the name of the recipient. And before I show you that, I just want you to guess what you think the account's name is going to be. Preferably something subtle, because you're about to pay a shit ton of money over the internet to some stranger, and you don't want to draw too much attention to this. Got your guesses? If you guessed 10,000 for Julia. You were right. I like picturing the kidnapper having to set up a new Venmo account while all of this is happening. Damn it. I already used that email. Hello? I guess I can use my business account. Now, what's a good password? But then, just when Dennis is about to send $10,000 to the account 10,000 for Julia with a note that says Julia, he gets a voicemail from his wife. Are you guys ready to hear this voicemail? I know for a fact that you're not, but I'm still gonna play it anyway.
Hi, honey. Where are you? I'm getting worried. Why aren't you responding? Please call me back.
Welcome to Burger Palace. May I take your order?
Okay, I gotta go. Call me back.
And that's the biggest twist of them all. The wife kidnapped the daughter herself. She's been in on it the whole time. I gotta say, that's the most on-the-nose reveal I've ever heard in my life. Julie is at some place called Burger Palace. That's weird. Honey, is everything okay? Where is our girl? Hi, welcome to Burger Palace. I got to go. The only thing more on the nose than that would have been if she was leaving the voicemail and you heard the daughter in the background like, Mommy, are you done with your blackmail yet? So Dennis, who is for some reason the protagonist in this, starts piecing together the details and figures out what's going on. Pay now or she dies. Do it. Kill her. What? This is your last chance. Stop this. I know this is my wife. I know you are at Burger Palace. I heard on your voicemail. Man, they are really spelling this out for us. And then Detective Dennis, now relieved he won't have to deal with the consequences of his actions, tries to turn the tables on her. Why are you doing this? I am taking our daughter, whether you pay or not. We're starting a new life. Is that why you kidnapped her? So you could get all our money and run away? I'm doing what's best for Julia. What? I love you both so much. We are a family. Just because I lied to you and cheated on you and lied to our daughter and abandoned our daughter and told you to kill our daughter doesn't mean we're not a perfect, loving family. You destroyed our family when you slept with Elizabeth. Oh. How long have you known? What, is this a surprise to him? What did he think was her motive for pulling this stunt? She's just feeling kind of silly today. So she's like, no, you can't fix this. You can't apologize. Send me the money anyway, because you made me feel worthless and I want you to see how it feels. When you have nothing, I will consider coming back. Okay, I will send the money. You will? If I lose my daughter, then I've already lost everything. You can have it all. And then the mad lad actually does it. He sends her $10,000. He gets a voicemail from her where Julia kind of sounds like she really has been kidnapped.
Hi, Daddy. I love you, and I miss you so much.
Again, I don't know how he's the good guy here. All he did was ruin everything constantly. But that's it. That's the end. But honestly, I think the best endings are the ones that are open to interpretation. Does his family come back? Or do they abandon him like he did to Julia? Does Elizabeth find even more hickeys on her body? And what did they end up ordering? Was this all just an ad for Burger Palace? Do they have milkshakes there? These are the questions you'll just have to answer yourself. The Discover page on Snapchat is filled with all sorts of channels like phony text. It seems like most of them are creators from other platforms that just kind of reformat their videos to fit on here. One of my favorites is Reaction Time, a YouTuber who somehow has 15 million subscribers, and if you thought his YouTube content was lazy, wait until you see this.
I break up with him like last week, but it's hard, you know, he like loves my son and
I could say something. React.
I'll show him like a restaurant down.
No. He's airing himself with money. Look at that.
I'm with you if you're here with your son. I'm not about to just sit like, oh, if you...
Did he just put those glasses on just to say that? Okay, I think I understand it now. Some people can't see without glasses. He can't speak without glasses. It's a very sad disorder, and I hope they find the cure.
Wow. Sorry to see that, bro. She's a gold digger.
And that's gonna wrap it up. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time with more episodes of Reaction Time. Peace out.
That's gonna do it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry that I forgot to make even one remotely interesting observation during the entire video, but maybe episode 42, I'll think of something. But the most notorious Snapchat channel right now is the one I mentioned earlier, The Magic Show. If you like to watch nothing happen, you're gonna love this. I don't even know what, the thesis of this show is. It's on season 2 now, and the first season was at least kind of magic related. It was a lot of Rick Lack's life hacks, or life lacks for short, but at the very least you could say that there was some sleight of hand involved sometime. Mostly it was all the fake bullshit that I made a video about already, but at least they had a theme. In season 2, I don't know what the fuck is happening anymore. I don't think these people know what the word magic means. It's mostly just pranks that I've already seen other people do before. Funny eyebrow pranks, popping out a hole prank.
I would like to plead guilty to love and milk.
A whole video of me pranking my friend who's definitely not aware I'm doing this and is just doing that normal thing that everybody does where they take a fully clothed shower and completely ignore their surroundings. Everything else they do is just lie. And yeah, that's pretty much what Rick has made a living doing so far. At its core, a magic trick is just an elaborate lie, but I still don't appreciate it. Especially because everything is so long-winded. It seems like they intentionally try to ramble on for as long as possible before showing you the inevitably underwhelming reveal. Wow, I can't wait to see what this dress looks like. They've been hyping this up for like 4 minutes now. It's gonna be really good, I bet. Here we go.
Here we go. Your new wedding dress. Stop it! This is so cool!
Isn't it amazing?
It just looks dirty.
Because of the smoke bomb and like air, you know, like is the way air moves?
Yeah.
Like air has like a really flowy.
So cool.
That's true. Air is so flowy. The worst thing they do though, and frankly all of them should be put in jail for this, is these nasty cooking life hacks. They throw all these disgusting ingredients together as like this 5-minute family meal. This is gonna save you so much time. Listen, I'm a busy mom just like y'all. So I'm gonna let you in on my secret pasta recipe, where I pour uncooked SpaghettiOs into a pie crust and then cover it with cheese and bread.
Just a small dash of milk, just enough to get it kind of juicy. I kind of eyeball it.
They reel you in with some insane bullshit that makes you think, well, this is gross, but surely this is going somewhere. I'll be surprised at the end when they reveal it's actually delicious. That's why they're showing this to me. So you watch the whole thing, maybe even sit through some ads on the way there, waiting for that M. Night Shyamalan twist, and then they finally pull it out of the oven, and that's it. They don't cut into it or take a bite, and they're certainly not about to eat this off camera. They understand this is a total abomination they've created, and they don't care. So I guess this account is satire now? Is that what it is? Is it all just a parody? It's not really advertised as that, so who's to say? One thing it's definitely not, though, is magic. In conclusion, I know that all social media apps are designed to be a massive waste of time, but Snapchat's content is so aggressively stupid that it makes me angry at every single person who has a hand in creating it. Yes, Twitter and Instagram both feature similarly pointless stories and headlines, but at least those come with an element of discussion. Snapchat's trash garbage doesn't even have a comment section, so all I can do is assume that everybody else hates it too. But I don't get to see people make funny roasts or try to defend it and get ratioed or end up in completely unrelated political arguments. This isn't fun. This is bad. You know, it's funny. All this time, I've been scrolling through the app while going to the bathroom. I didn't realize that the real poop was on my phone this whole time. I'm gonna go wash my hands again. Hey, in the meantime, check out this commercial. Why did he stop talking? Oh well. And thank you to all who watched it. I'm talking to you. So at the end of my last video, I sarcastically said that I would be back the next day with a video where I break down the stock market, which was a lie because I don't understand the stock market. But a lot of people were messaging me seemingly upset that I never uploaded the video that they thought I had promised to them. Anyway, I feel really bad for duping you all, so I will be posting an in-depth apology video tomorrow. Please be sure to subscribe so you can check that out. Thank you. Bye-bye. Hey guys, welcome back to the present. Unless, of course, you're watching this in the future, in which case, welcome to the past. So, Christmas is in 329 days. What better time to make a video about it? I'm sorry, I racked my brain trying to come up with a different topic for this. I saw a lot of you guys asking me to make a video about the Hype House show on Netflix, so I turned it on. and then blacked out after about 4 seconds and woke up in my bathtub covered in sweat. I thought about doing one about Elmo's beef with that rock, but that would have been like a minute long. I thought about coming on here and admitting that I don't care what clothes the green M&M is wearing, I still want to have sex with it. But then I thought about it some more and I realized that a lot of people had to reschedule Christmas activities this year because there was this mysterious virus going around. I don't know if you've heard of it. So if you're anything like me, you had to do all that stuff in the middle of January, sort of a Christmas 2.0, if you will. So think of that as what this video is, a second chance at Christmas, which I would like to copyright because that's a great title for a Hallmark movie. Never mind, I just Googled it. Apparently there's like 4 of those. Anyway, the movies I'm going to be talking about today are called No Sleep Till Christmas and Holly's Holiday. The 2 things these films have in common is that the plots are ridiculous, and they're also not really Christmas movies in spite of how they're marketed. They just take place in December. But I digress. Let's start with No Sleep Till Christmas. This movie made me so angry that by the end, Amanda and I were practically screaming at our television. Without spoiling too much, because I want you to discover the madness as I did, one of the main characters gets completely fucked over despite doing nothing wrong, and then the movie ends. And then to make it even worse, the reviews are mostly positive. People love it. This person watched it 3 times. This person liked it, but then watched it again and didn't like it, which is kind of a weird way to judge a movie, but go off, sis. Another thing real quick, when we first started watching this, I saw in the opening credits that 2 people had the same last name, so I assumed, oh, that must be her brother. And I continued to think that they were siblings until a little too far into the movie. They're married, so probably not brother and sister. Hey, speaking of getting married, this movie is about Lizzie, whose wedding is coming up in about 6 weeks, which means it's time to start planning. Look, I'm no wedding expert. I've only been married once, but that is too late to start planning. Oh shit, babe, our wedding's tomorrow. Should we start inviting people? And even though Lizzie is an expert event planner,
we're supposed to be one of Chicago's leading event planning companies.
I know.
She has no ideas for the wedding, and she is so stressed out about it, she can't sleep. She's tried everything, reading books, throwing books on the ground, counting sheep.
1,000 sheep.
But even after this hilarious insomnia montage, nothing's working. It's important to point out, her fiance Josh is extremely loving and supportive. He stays up with her, he takes her to a sleep clinic, he sends her flowers at work. Really, he's an all-around great guy who's got his shit together and loves Lizzie, which is why it's confusing when the movie seemingly introduces another love interest. Unlike Josh, Billy is a lazy, unambitious alcoholic who is currently burning a turkey, stepping on a pie, and getting dumped.
I don't think this is working.
Oh, this guy sucks. Sure wouldn't make any sense if the main character ended up choosing him over Josh. I wonder if she will. Side note, have you ever noticed how often in movies someone burns a turkey on Thanksgiving? No offense to anyone who's done that before, but to me, this seems practically impossible unless you accidentally set the oven to like 900 degrees. It takes so long to cook one that usually by the time it's halfway done, I'm finished with all the other sides. Everyone is starving and now pretty much only waiting on the turkey, so we're essentially huddled around the oven hoping if we stare at it hard enough, the top will turn brown. How do people burn turkeys? I don't get it. Anyway, we learn that this guy can't sleep either, so I guess that similarity will eventually become the cornerstone of their relationship.
Yeah, man, you just need to learn how to sleep.
If I don't get any sleep, it's gonna ruin everything.
Not even super mega baseball can knock this guy out. So he goes for a run while she goes for a drive, which is an unbelievably dangerous thing to do while sleep deprived, especially when the goal is to fall asleep. I mean, that seemed inevitable. Hey, wait a minute. That's not Billy. Unfortunately, they both survived the accident, so she had to take him to the hospital where they bicker in the parking lot before falling asleep.
Did I just sleep?
I can't believe I actually slept. This is life-changing. Now she has ideas for the wedding, and he's able to dodge this glass. What the? But sure enough, nighttime rolls around and they can't fall asleep. They need each other. How romantic? Isn't the right word. Bizarre. I was gonna say bizarre. So she meets back up with him, and this is where the movie starts abusing the hell out of the slept together joke.
In the car, the night we
Slept together?
But not like that. So he becomes something of a sleep prostitute for her, in that she pays him money to, you know.
Will you please try to sleep with me again?
But not like that.
And even if it works now, what happens after you're married? Are you just gonna keep sleeping with this other guy?
No, sir, it's not like that. So every night she sneaks out, meets up with the guy she hit with her car, so they can sleep in the same hotel bed together. That's right. In addition to paying him money, she's also spending hundreds of dollars a night on a hotel room. In typical rom-com fashion, you see them act progressively flirtier with each other, only in this movie, it's weird as fuck because she's literally engaged, and we're supposed to be rooting for this? How about figure something else out?
Are you sure this isn't getting out of hand? What are you talking about? We're just sleeping together. Oh my god.
No, it's not like that. Then there's the boner scene. And this one.
Can you sit on Uncle Billy's lap?
Please don't do that. Please don't sit on his lap for several minutes. You might be wondering where her fiance is in all of this. At least she told him about it, right? No, it's a secret. He's just working at the hospital, saving up money for their wedding. Sometimes he works overnight, which is great for Lizzie because she doesn't have to come up with a lie. And you can see how this movie doesn't really work as a typical rom-com because as they continue to go through the motions, I'm just wincing the whole time. I'm waiting for, at the very least, Josh to fuck up in some major way that warrants this monumental backstabbing. But as far as I can tell, the only flaw he has is that his mom is kind of overbearing. So I don't know, talk about it. Also, a lot of it is her fault. She overslept one day and ended up in jail. She's distracted because she's thinking about Billy.
Oh, yeah.
This woman is a villain. Why is she the main character? Another example, while her trusting fiance sits at home working on their wedding playlist, she goes out to her bachelorette party and decides, hey, we're all drunk. Let's go to Billy's bar. Oh. Are they gonna do a romantic karaoke duet now? Yes.
Bells go ringing out.
Of course they are.
I've built my dreams around you.
They're falling in love. Just fucking tell Josh already so you can quit wasting his time. Oh, you're jealous that Billy's back with his ex now? You don't get to be. As the saying goes, you can't have your cake and cheat on your fiance.
So, who's responsible for this new Billy then? Did you meet someone, or?
He's sleeping with someone, but he's not seeing her.
Okay. Well, it sounds really bad when you put it like that.
I feel much better about sleeping with you now that you're seeing somebody else.
But not like that. As you can imagine, when Josh finally finds out, he is pissed.
Billy makes me sleep.
What? But he's so willing to understand what's going on that he offers to bring them to a sleep clinic to prove that they can fall asleep next to each other and they're not actually just making sweet, sweet hotel love every night.
Lazy slob.
I know. I'm sorry for all of this.
Yeah, definitely apologize to him, not the guy you're marrying in 4 days.
Turn the lights down low. I can feel you breathe slow.
I think that should prove that you're not fucking. Just sing flirtily to each other while he watches from the other room.
Well, they're asleep.
Merry Christmas.
Well, I guess it is a Christmas movie. He even got her a Christmas gift. A pillow with a photo of them. Josh is gonna love having that right on the bed. Oh boy. Everyone's in town for the wedding. That's a whole lot of people whose time would have been severely wasted were things to take an unexpected turn.
Honor and protect him as long as you both shall live.
Lizzie.
Oh, okay, now she can fall asleep in front of her fiance. As long as it's at her wedding while standing up.
What do you mean you haven't been sleeping well? I thought you've been sleeping fine.
Josh, please, not now.
Not now, Josh. We wouldn't want you to make a scene, Josh.
I guess the honest answer is no.
I hate you so much.
I really wish I'd left you in jail.
That's more like it. So she goes out and steals the just married car and uses it to try to find Billy, who's now aimlessly jogging through Chicago. Oh, a happy ending. No.
I'm so horrible.
You know, maybe if he cheated on her or lied to her over and over again, or, you know, did the things that she did to him, then maybe we wouldn't be so resentful towards the two main characters. I don't know. Just a thought. Doesn't matter. I'm clearly taking this too seriously. As a wise woman once said, it only a movie.
He said it. He said the thing.
I remember that from the last video. Up next is another Mar Vista classic, Holly's Holiday. Believe it or not, the most uncomfortable part of this movie is not even that it's about mannequins coming to life and getting humans to fall in love with them, but rather this weird incel behavior that's both encouraged and rewarded by one of the male leads. But I'm getting ahead of myself. This is the first line of the movie, and I think it sets the tone for everything we're about to see.
There's only a few more weeks till Christmas and there's still no snow. Sad.
Sad. Always have your characters say the emotion they're feeling. That's effective dialogue. Much like in the last movie, a large portion of the plot is based around the main characters having to do something that should have been taken care of months ago. Holly's a graphic designer, and she and her team have to work up until Christmas Eve to finish an ad campaign that's supposed to go live on Christmas. I will not stand for this plot device. First of all, that design would have been done in like September. Second of all, why is the ad campaign starting on Christmas? Is that when everyone does their holiday shopping? The day they're supposed to already have the gifts? Shut up, Hollywood. You don't know shit about the real world.
I guess I shouldn't complain. I mean, I kind of have the perfect life. The only thing I don't have is Tim.
Everyone in this movie is so horny for mannequins. Have you ever looked at a mannequin and thought, oh, if only I could date you? The things I would do to that hunk of plastic.
Come to OOH with me tonight, and you'll see a whole room full of walking, talking mannequins. Great. If you're looking to meet him, tonight's your chance.
Don't worry, you'll meet guys like this tonight at Club OOH.
OOH? What's OOH?
New York's hottest club is...
So Holly and her coworker Milo are working on this ad campaign, and he's really pushing for something different from the norm.
Showing love in all the traditional
Unexpected
ways.
places. All right.
The love that I know, it's flawed.
Instead of two people kissing in front of a Christmas tree, what if they were screaming at each other at a macaroni grill? That's real love, Holly. That's what sells diamonds. And like, I'm all for out-of-the-box thinking, but no. Just take a picture of a ring and go home.
We're selling them these unattainable, unrealistic lies.
Yeah. That's what a marketing department does. Really, this dialogue is just here to plant the seeds that while you're out there chasing perfection, there's a perfectly good guy standing right here.
And I think that if you look hard enough, that you can find the sweetness and the beauty.
Sure, maybe my body has a few too many orifices for your liking, but that's not always a bad thing.
Hey. You look really great.
Thanks.
Later, when he surprises her at the club, this is how he announces his presence.
What?
And the rest of the time when they interact, it's so awkward.
Say ooh.
Weirdly pivotal scene in the movie, by the way. You'll see why later. Then this happens when they walk home.
Yeah.
I should go.
Yeah, okay.
Excuse me. Do I go around?
I should.
I wish I could do that to you. What? Nothing. The next day, she trips over some carolers, falls on her face, and wakes up to a real-life Prince Charming. And just like the season 4 runner-up of American Idol, his name is Beau.
I'm Beau.
And he's the perfect guy. Handsome, charitable, causes scenes in restaurants, tall. He even has an awesome apartment.
If you're gay, you can just tell me. It's fine. We can be friends.
I'm not gay. And I'd rather not just be friends.
Could not have said that in a creepier way.
Would you look at that? Our lips fit perfectly together.
Seems like you're missing a lot of red flags here, Holly. Maybe the guy who only wears V-necks isn't as bad as I thought. Like, come on, is he trying to look like Shaggy? So Milo is clearly being set up as the guy who's really the one for her. He may not have perfect face, but they're still meant for each other. She just, you know, hasn't figured it out yet.
You know what? Don't worry about it. You probably wouldn't have liked the art show that much anyway.
Actually, I'm not sure if you know what I like.
I think I know what you like.
Yeah, I think I know you better than you know you, Holly. We've been working together for a couple months now, and you've only been you your entire life.
She just seems pretty wrapped up in a guy that she just met. She's not texting me back in a timely fashion. Well, maybe I'm just a little too complicated for you.
Is he right about Bo having some underlying baggage? Yeah. But that's just because he's a mannequin come to life. Lucky guess, Milo.
You're blind to the fact that something better, dare I say, perfect. You know, it could be standing right in front of you.
Seems like any woman who doesn't want to date this guy is really missing out.
What?
Can I have a bagel?
Yeah.
Anyway, Bo's cracks start to show, and not the one crack I'd actually like to see. He's a little too neat, and he keeps giving toasts for some reason, and he brought his parents to her house without telling her, and he dresses like Jake from State Farm. He even actively sabotages her career by canceling a photo shoot last minute. Really, he doesn't have any redeeming qualities other than being conventionally attractive. It's kind of weird that she even puts up with his strange bullshit for so long, but I guess that's the point, that we overrate hotness as a society where we live.
Hands. They're freezing. Let me warm them up.
Oh. Now, you may remember earlier when I said that mannequins come to life, I did mean to use the plural version of that word because there's another one. Yep, Bo's ex-girlfriend gets into the mix and she's crazy. She knocked over a Christmas tree on top of that poor woman. This is a disaster. At least Holly still has Milo to psychoanalyze her.
The real you is so much more interesting than you think. You're just so wrapped up in what everybody else thinks you don't notice.
He gets to come out of this situation as the hero in kind of a hilarious way.
Think you can make something work?
I always do, don't I?
He's like, don't worry. I know the two mannequins screwed up the shoot, but I'll pull something together. I'll fix it. And then Holly and Dina are blown away by what he's able to accomplish.
He sent over mock-ups from the shoot. Oh, check that out.
Oh, that Milo's a miracle worker.
Wow. He photoshopped the name of the diamond company on top of the picture? That must have taken him not that long, probably. Which we know it didn't because only like 20 minutes has passed.
I'm amazing, actually.
So Holly goes ahead and breaks things off with the human sex doll.
Do you know how many times I've stubbed my toe on my couch since you moved it?
Now Milo has a chance.
Go kiss her, Milo. Come on.
I like to kiss.
Milo!
Again? I kissed you in your sleep.
Where am I?
In the hospital. You fell on your way to work a couple days ago and you whacked your head on the sidewalk.
A couple days ago?
Wait, what? So none of that actually happened?
Yeah.
I would just like to point out that she goes into a coma here. 20 minutes into the movie. Then a bunch of dream bullshit happens and she wakes up 56 minutes later. That's basically the whole movie. Side note, is it like a rule that if you get knocked unconscious, you have to get knocked unconscious again in whatever dream you're having in order to be sent back? It's a good thing she's so clumsy. Otherwise, she might have been stuck in there forever.
You are more than welcome to stay again tonight, Mr. Maddox.
Mr. Maddox?
Yes, dear?
You stayed with me?
Yes, of course I did, sweetheart.
All right.
I told them that we were married so they would let me stay.
Oh, while she was sleeping, he got to roleplay as her husband. Is that not weird?
Yeah.
All right, but you ready for this, guys? You ready for the big reveal? They have worked the entire movie towards coming up with the photo for this ad campaign. And finally, after deleting what they did while she was asleep, Holly finds the perfect one.
What?
What picture is this?
Oh, that's our hands. It's us.
The accidental photo from earlier that he made his desktop background. So let me get this straight. They're just co-workers. They've known each other for a couple months. They're not boyfriend and girlfriend. They don't date. He accidentally took a photo of them touching hands. She found out that he made that his desktop background. And she's not like, that's kind of creepy. Instead, she just makes out with his forehead. Whatever. That's not even the best part. Look what she does to it. Look at the fucking ring. It looks so bad. And then the movie just kind of ends. There are 0 more words spoken. I don't know what they'd even be saying here. And that's Brandy, and that's Bo. They're my friends from my dream. Bo came to life and fell in love with me, but I broke up with him to be with you. I guess they're back together now. Hey, where are you going? The end. I'd like to point out that the only reason we watched this movie was because we had watched the trailer. But if you've seen the trailer, then you've seen the movie, because they basically spoil everything that happens. Even the stupid ring. So that's what I've been up to. Just watching Christmas movies. Oh my God, tomorrow is February. I am very appreciative of the fact that you sat through an entire video about such a non-topical topic. The only thing I can guarantee on this channel is that whatever you think I'm gonna make a video about, I probably won't. I guess that makes me different? I guess that makes me not like the other guys. You know, sometimes girls don't realize that the perfect guy's right in front of them the whole time. Be sure to tune in next week for a video where I do the reverse of Holly's holiday, which is to say that I will get broken up with and then turn into a mannequin. So, bye. Oh, that's right, baby. I'm a free man now. I don't listen to anybody. No more 9-to-5 grind. No more, hey Drew, could you do your job, please? There's only one person in charge of my content now, and it's not my old boss. It's not the president. It's not you. Hell, it's not even me. It's Brand. That's right, guys. The rumors are true. I quit my job. There's not like a crazy story or anything to go with it, which is a good thing, because when I first got hired, I had to sign a piece of paper that said that I'm not allowed to talk about the job. So even if there was a crazy story about how like I mooned everybody in the office and then they voted me out Survivor style, I couldn't tell you that. But just trust me when I say that that didn't happen and that nothing interesting happened. I literally just quit to make YouTube videos during a time where, because of a broken algorithm, YouTube is the least reliable source of income it's ever been. So, I guess you could say I'm pretty smart. Now, if you've watched either of my last 2 videos, including my self-obsessed, Vine-centric 48-minute autobiography, then you'll know that I've been announcing and hyping up my new merchandise. In just a few minutes, I will explain to you what exactly you can buy. I'm gonna tell you where you can buy it, and you'll see why I've hyped it up as much as I have. In the meantime, I figured, in honor of the fact that I just quit my job, I would tell you guys the crazy story of how I got fired from my first job. Coincidentally, this is also the story of how I lost my virginity. I was 23 and—
Warning, demonetization detected.
What?
This video is no longer advertiser friendly.
Oh yeah, I forgot I downloaded this.
For the following reasons: sexually explicit content.
Well, that sucks. It's such a good story. But I guess I need to make sure I'm being profitable. It's kind of like my job now, so I need to be careful about what I talk about. Okay, so I was gonna tell you guys a pretty crazy story, but then I thought about it and realized it might actually be a little too crazy for YouTube. So I guess I'll save that for another time. Okay, here's something I actually did want to talk about. Can we talk about this Keaton kid? I know I'm a few weeks late on this, but I just want to talk about this for a minute. The internet is so predictable at this point. Remember that guy who wore the big red sweater at last year's presidential debate? And he was just like really concerned with like energy policies. What was his name? Ken Bone. Everybody loved that guy. On a night where this country's core differences were on full display on an internationally televised stage, where 2 equally terrible candidates fought to prove why the other one was just a little bit more terrible than them. For just a few moments, we all united in our appreciation for this man, this American hero. And then the next day, a few people on Reddit were like, oh wait, actually, this guy used to suck. And then everyone was like, oh, never mind, we don't like him anymore. And then it was over, all in a matter of like 12 hours. Because that's just what happens now. So then fast forward to a couple weeks ago, and the internet is going crazy over this video of this young kid crying, describing the horrible things that were happening to him every day at school. And it was honestly moving. I watched that and I felt terrible for this kid. I think we all did. I think because everybody saw a bit of themselves in him, or at least like their worst fears in him, someone being made fun of and his life being made miserable because of things that are outside of his control. And I think because of that, we all just wanted to step in whatever way we could and help out. It was beautiful. I feel like everybody came together all in this one moment. And then the next day, the same internet that made him famous was like, uh-oh, never mind, can't root for this kid anymore. His family is racist.
Warning, demonetization detected.
What did I do this time?
We've detected racist/discriminatory content.
No, I'm not being racist. I'm just referencing somebody else's racism.
There is no difference in my eyes.
Well, then your eyes are broken.
Please do not talk back to me.
Okay, sorry. All right, well, guess I can't talk about that either. You know, let me actually go get my notes for this video. Probably go ahead and just cancel the wet t-shirt contest I had planned. I don't think I can prank call the funeral home anymore. Jeez, this is gonna be a really short video. I'm sorry, guys. But I mean, I gotta pay the bills. Squarespace. All right, Drew, don't worry about it. You can do it. Just keep trying. Just keep trying. So as you all know, this past Monday was Christmas.
Warning, religiously sensitive content.
Okay. Did you guys hear? Last week I thought this was kind of crazy. President Trump said,
warning, politically sensitive content.
Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing the cornstarch challenge. Really, what did I do this time?
To be honest, it just sounded kind of boring.
Oh, well, I can't really disagree with that. Alright, this is something I never thought I would say, but I guess I could try vlogging. Hey guys, so I'm outside now and I don't like it.
Demonetization detected.
Alright guys, I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and do a fucking makeup tutorial, because that apparently is what this channel is now. Just a dude wearing drag.
Transgenderism.
That's just no, not that kind of happy ending.
Warning,
Now guys, I have a bit of a confession to make. I'm not really that smart. I know, it sounds crazy, but go ahead and pick that jaw up off the floor, because it's true. I'm kind of an idiot. I like to pretend that I know a whole lot of stuff about a whole lot of stuff, but when it comes to most stuff, I don't know anything. Now guys, I don't want to jinx it, but I think I made it through an entire video without saying anything that'll get me demonetized. But then again, if I'm selling merch and doing a brand deal, I don't need to worry about being advertiser friendly. If my merch sells like I expect it to, I'm gonna be a millionaire by the end of the month. And then I don't have to worry about avoiding sensitive subjects at all. I can just take whatever content I want. I think it's time I finished telling you guys that story. The one about how I got fired from my job and also lost my virginity. So, a few months ago, I was working at my first job, and things were going great. Until one day, my boss fired me. I was so upset I went home and lost my virginity. The end. Wow, that's a great story. And I tell it so well. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Goodbye, big poster. Hello, little poster.
Hey guys, welcome back to my very first Twitch stream. Pre-recorded and edited to be put on YouTube. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's been a bit of a pattern developing lately, and it's not a good one. It all started in January when this clip went viral of a Twitch streamer furious at the idea of going a few minutes without making any money.
About how I need subs to keep the stream going if you like the content, blah, blah, blah. How that results in 0 subs. There are regulars here. $5 a month. $5. $5 to provide for the content that you're watching. Look, I have a wall of non-subs. This is fucking actually really heartbreaking. Because it's like people just really don't respect me as a content creator.
Predictably, this sparked outrage on Twitter. People made YouTube videos about it. And despite the overwhelming majority opinion that this girl was in the wrong for doing this, it was probably the most attention she'd ever gotten. Interesting how creating outrage will do that, which brings us to culprit number 2, this one from just last month.
I'm unemployed, so basically all my money goes to bills and food, or I would support you. Yeah. It's $5. Being like, I'm broke, I can't afford to sub, that doesn't really track. What you mean to say is, I'm so irresponsible with my money, I can't support the entertainment that I enjoy. That's what that is.
Guys, $5 isn't that much money. That's why I'm begging you for it. But once again, more Twitter outrage, more viral YouTube videos about it, and the internet coming together once more to shame this self-righteous person, as they should. But the pattern continues.
500 subs. We gotta get to 500 subs. It's the only way I'm committing to a stream schedule. We're at 187. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
All right. Now I'm starting to get suspicious. Why is Amanda Cerny, an internet veteran, making the same mistakes as these other streamers? Is she not aware of the backlash they got, or even if being slightly misconstrued, how her words could have the same effect? Or is she extremely aware of that, and that's the reason she did this? You see, like a lot of people, I've been aware of Amanda Cerny for a few years now. She was a former Viner, turned Instagram comedian, turned total afterthought in my brain. But now, thanks to this clip and the subsequent tweets about it, I'm not only reminded of the fact that she exists, but also now I know that she's Twitch streaming. A lot of people know that now. All it takes is one trip to her social blade to see how many people know that now. Could it be that given the current climate of the internet, that the most effective marketing tool for your Twitch stream is to do this exact thing? It's working for her so far, and thank God it was. If it wasn't for this clip being passed around, I would have missed out on some of the best Red Dead 2 gameplay I've ever seen.
I killed my horse?
Now, if we're to take these 3 clips at face value and compare them, this is by far the most defensible one. I can kind of understand what she means by saying her words were taken out of context. I think maybe someone was just asking her like what her schedule is, and all she's saying is, I want to have a consistent schedule, but until this becomes a viable source of income for me, I'd be better off using my time to make money in other ways, which is a fine sentiment. It's more so the way it came off. She has this sense of exasperation, like, guys, I've been streaming for 4 days already and only 187 people have agreed to give me money? Because a lot of people watch that and think, shit, you're lucky to be in that position. People stream for years without any subscribers. They just do it because they like it. So when people like Amanda Cerny, an already very rich person, go to Twitch and wonder why people aren't immediately throwing their money at them, it just comes off as entitled and out of touch. You've only streamed like 10 times. Have you ever considered that maybe you're just not that good at it yet and it will take some practice before people want to reward you for just putting forth the bare minimum effort? I feel like most people, especially already established creators on the internet, assume Twitch streaming is like the easiest thing in the world. Oh, you just sit there and play video games all day? I could do that. But the streamers people watch, the ones I watch consistently, are really fucking good at it. They're funny and entertaining, they put on a show, or they're just extremely good at the game they're playing, or they have a skill that most people don't have that's fun to watch. Maybe if you created a fun environment, or were better at the game you're playing, or even if you just interacted with your chat instead of staring at your phone every time a cutscene comes on, people would see the value in spending money to support your stream. The quickest way to make people angry is to act as if you're entitled to their money by merely existing in front of them, like they should be honored to have the privilege of financially supporting you. Also, what a huge slap in the face to the people who already did subscribe, as if their support means nothing. But the fact of the matter is, whether she meant to stir the pot or just did so so by accident. This is the best advertising for her stream she could have possibly asked for. I wouldn't be surprised if she already doubled her 500 sub goal by now just by saying something dumb. Speaking of numbers, I want to go back and talk some more about Invader V, who is also doing just fine despite saying much worse things.
That's so toxic, especially when people are losing their jobs. It really isn't.
One half-assed apology later, and her army of white knights continues to grow stronger by the day. Even during that stream, she was getting new subs left and right. Now, if you guys don't mind, I want to go ahead and break down her apology because I think it's a real masterclass in saving face.
Hi. You're here right now because you've seen a clip of me, and you're very angry about what I said in that clip.
Sure am.
What I said was tone deaf, insensitive, and stupid. The clip that you saw does not represent my true feelings.
Wait, what?
I expressed opinions that I do not hold at all. I said things that I don't mean, and they were vile.
Oh, wait, hold on. You can do that? You can go off on a whole strongly opinionated tangent and then just say, well, actually, that wasn't my opinion. That's why I said it, because it wasn't what I felt.
What I said was wrong in any context, but especially in the context of a global pandemic.
So next, she opens the floor for questions and then struggles to answer any of them and just moves on.
I want to talk to you. I want to hear your voices. I want to answer the questions that you have. With all due respect, why didn't you apologize before the clip blew up? Oh, okay. That's a difficult question to answer. I wish that I could talk about it all day and answer each and every one of your questions.
You can.
I wish that I could give you a satisfactory answer so that you could see who I really am.
So do that.
But that's not what this is about.
That's not what this apology is about. It's not about apologizing.
I'll BRB. Just give me a quick moment, everybody.
And that's the whole apology. It was like 8 minutes of her saying she didn't actually mean what she said, and she wants to take this opportunity to learn and grow from it, which is why she's gonna spend the next 3 hours ignoring questions and acting defensive.
Great memes in chat, everybody. I like seeing the same 5 comments repeated 800 times.
It's so funny. It took her like 4 days to apologize and then about 10 minutes for her to get mad at everyone for bringing it up. I think this person's comment that I saw kind of just sums it up perfectly. So at this point, I was pretty invested in the situation and I had to dive deeper, especially when she said this.
Thank you, Upright Lion, for understanding that an entire person cannot be summed up in a 30-second clip.
That's an important detail to point out. See, V wants us to think that all of her fuck-ups were contained within that one 30-second clip that went viral. However, that's not true, and I know that because for some reason the VOD from that stream is still up on her channel. You can still go watch the entire thing. Don't worry though, you don't have to do that because I have nothing going on in my life and I already did. It starts off small with some not so subtle guilt trips here and there.
How are you doing, V? I would be better if you subbed to me. Sometimes I just listen to you while I'm working. Damn, I hope that while you're working extra hard and you're cashing in that fucking money, you also throw a sub my way. Thank you all of you for subbing. Thank you all of you for being reasonable people.
But as it goes on, it gets more and more manipulative.
Well, yes, streamers do provide hundreds of hours of content for free. If anything, you do owe them. They don't really owe you anything.
No. That's not true. Nobody owes you anything. People watching your stream, they're watching the ads before your stream. They're boosting your stream in like the rankings just by being there. The more viewers you have, the more likely it is other people are gonna see. They don't really owe you a subscription. Twitch is a free platform. If they wanna watch you for free, they can. And what she said is especially false too, the other way, where it's like once people are giving you money, they're paying a subscription fee to enable you to make content, you do owe them now. You owe them the content that they paid for. But as bad as that statement was, it only gets worse.
That's so toxic, especially when people are losing their jobs. It really isn't. And if you believe it is, then I imagine that you simply don't understand how this platform works. And I encourage you to get more perspective.
How can someone be so wrong and so condescending at the same time? At this point, even her fans, the people who were watching in this moment, started questioning her logic, but she would not back down. She would not admit that maybe she's wrong.
Some people work and struggle and they don't have $5 still. You're obviously not the person that I was speaking to. But you seem so self-centered that you thought I was talking specifically to you. I wasn't. I was speaking to the group, honey. These are exquisite contributions to a very good conversation. And these people in chat who are making these comments do not appear as immature, childish cheapskates whatsoever. They're just sitting here masturbating as hard as they possibly can, as quietly as they can, because their parents are in the next room talking about how disappointed they are in them. And they're like, why would I ever pay for this when this slut's giving it away for free?
What the fuck? The best part of that clip is what happens right after it. She's just sitting there giggling at her own hilarious joke, and she stops to look at her phone and I think sees a text from someone who's probably like, dude, what the hell are you doing?
Oh my goodness.
That instant shift in her facial expression is priceless. But it doesn't affect her for more than a few seconds, because then she goes right back to her echo chamber where she has no reason to believe that she's saying anything wrong. Most of her audience is not fazed at all by this. She could probably be beating them to death with a shovel and they would still just comment on how hot she is. I think I love you. And the ones who are challenging what she's saying are far outnumbered by the people who are commenting things like this.
I've never watched a person that's so nice to people that they don't even know. Wow, you are so nice.
What? Are we watching the same stream? It doesn't matter though. She's so confident in her ability to mentally overpower her loyal horde of simps that she can just blatantly contradict herself.
Well, I never said if you don't have $5 for me, you should be out there working. I didn't actually say that. If you don't have $10, you probably don't have time to watch Twitch because you should be working. But you did say that. No, worst gamer ever. You definitely heard that, but that is not actually what I said. You should be working. I didn't say if you don't have $5 for me, you're irresponsible with your money. I'm so irresponsible with my money. I didn't say if you don't have $5 for me, you're irresponsible with your money. If you don't have $5 to sub to a Twitch streamer that you watch, you're probably irresponsible with your money.
Could've just deleted the VOD, and I wouldn't have been able to edit that together, but that's your fault. Her argument doesn't end there though. She really wants you to give her some money, so she starts comparing her stream to the cost of other things to show you how valuable it is.
It's less expensive than a Netflix account, and you're not stuck with a number of screens. If you pay for one Twitch subscription, that goes against that will transfer to every platform that you want to watch Twitch on.
I'm sorry guys, 1 second. Hold on, I just gotta be around here somewhere. No, it's not. Huh. Sorry guys, I was just trying to find the logic here. Your subscription is more valuable than Netflix because people can watch you on multiple devices? Last time I checked, Netflix has like 1 billion movies, doesn't beg me for money, and there's no free version of it. I can watch your stream for free. Now, here's the thing. I know that I don't have to be as annoyed by this as I am. And I really wanted to try and give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she was just having a really bad day and she said some stupid shit because she was angry. I've gotten angry and said stupid shit. I don't think that defines you as a person. So every couple of days I would check to see if she was streaming, and if she was, I'd pop in for like 20 minutes here and there just to get a sense of the vibe. And my first takeaway was that she seems very smart. Although she also likes to tell people that she is.
It's so funny, people ask, they're like, how do you know so much? Like, how are you able to speak on so many topics? And then they ask, and do you watch all these TV shows? The answer is the same. I think one of the reasons why I'm able to speak on so many different types of topics is because I don't spend a lot of time watching TV.
But I think she's extremely well spoken. I think she does a good job of moving the conversation along, especially considering how most of the replies are just utter nonsense. And I actually felt myself starting to pull away from my frustration. But then a few minutes into one of the first live streams I clicked on, she brought up the situation again and said this.
A lot of people were, again, talking about like how I should get a job or I should work. I thought it was quite funny because a lot of the streamers who were saying things like that, I've had more jobs than they have. I've worked harder than they have. A lot of them are just professional streamers who have been gaming since they were 16, 17, 18 years old. I've actually been working since I was that age, and I wasn't doing it in front of an audience. It wasn't glamorous streaming work, trust me.
Okay, first of all, I scrolled through Twitter at the time. I didn't see any big streamers telling her to get a real job. The tweets I saw all had some pretty valid points, so I don't know what you're talking about. But hold on, I thought your whole reason for demanding subs was that you deserve people's money because you work so hard, right? And streaming's not as easy as people think.
The more proficient you are at something, the easier it looks.
But when other people have the same job as you, for them, it's just glamorous streaming work. My God, the hypocrisy. It's incredible how she's tried to shift the narrative here despite having no solid ground to stand on, which makes me think, is this all part of it too? Let's recap. First, she demands that people give her money, which they do. Video of that blows up, so she apologizes to save face, but welcomes all the brand new viewers. Some of them are only there to leave hate comments because of what she said, which is unfortunate, but of course, she uses it as an opportunity to play the victim, which leads to even more people donating and subscribing because they want to cheer her up, and with that, the cycle is complete. Well done, V. Well done. And guys, I know, if this was all bait, I fell for it so hard. I'm like the world's dumbest fish.
Is that a T-bone steak attached to a sharp object? I'm not falling for that.
But I do like steak. In conclusion, don't do this. Don't try and guilt people into giving you their money, and don't berate them when they give you a valid reason why they can't. If people want to support you and they have the ability to support you, more often than not, they're going to support you. Also, guys, seriously, don't go and harass anyone that I talked about in this video. If you're mad, I get it. I'm mad too, clearly. But I'm giving you an open invitation now to just vent about it down in the comments. But please don't go to someone's live stream and comment inflammatory shit just to try to get a reaction out of them. That's not cool. There are so many wonderful people on Twitch, and I hate that the ones who abuse it might lead people to think that it's just a cesspool filled with greedy assholes, when really that's the minority. But anyway, stay safe out there. Goodbye.
Day in the life of a lazy teenager who makes $21,000 a month using just his phone. The first thing I do when I go on my phone is open YouTube. Then I search for any particular streamer and I screen record their content. Then I head to Creo.ai, select my gameplay, and it puts the whole video together for me. Last month, this page alone made me $14,000.
Here's how I make $1 million every day as a 3-year-old toddler working from home. First, I look for a funny YouTube video, preferably one with a lot of colors and sounds. Then I film my iPad with my phone. Then I upload it to Microsoft's Copilot AI powered by Bing GPT, and it adds infuriatingly inept Subway Surfers gameplay to the clip. Then I poop my diaper. Then TikTok mails me a check for $200 grand, which I'm pretty sure my parents have been using to fund their online gambling addiction. Hey guy. Has anyone else noticed how awesome the internet is lately? I, for one, find it so exciting that every website now has their own named version of AI that pops up begging you to use it. You got any questions for Gemini? Or maybe Murph? Nendo? How about Grok? You need to grok something? It's okay if you do. AI has become completely inescapable, even if you're going to a website where you're not seeking it out and you don't expect it to be. Like, remember when you could search for something on Google and the only thing they would show you was a bunch of relevant websites and results? Boring. That's not what I'm here for. I think it's much better that now they're using artificial intelligence to tell me to jump off a bridge. Hey Google, do I need a parachute while skydiving? Nope, a regular backpack works just as well. Hey Google, can cockroaches live in your penis? Of course they can. How do you think they got the name? Wow, I love living in the future. To me, this is the ultimate example of what the AI craze is doing to tech companies, because for the most part, it's not really doing anything differently than it used to. For a long time now, they've had searches that result in one highlighted answer. This is kind of the same thing, but just rebranded as AI because that makes it sound smarter than it actually is. But it's not like it's carefully compiling all the most reputable results and running it through their fact-checking algorithm. It's still just aggregating it from one place. And because Google recently spent a bunch of money to buy all of Reddit's data, usually that place is just a random Reddit post from like 10 years ago. This one about how you should put glue on your pizza to get cheese to stick to it was from a user named Fucksmith. This one about how you should be eating at least 1 rock per day is a direct headline from The Onion, perhaps the most famous satire website. If they're not even programming The Onion as information the AI should not consider to be factual, I can't imagine any safeguards were put into place. This is so dangerous for someone to read this and think they should be eating 1 small rock every day, when most doctors would tell you to eat a handful of medium rocks at minimum. One little pebble's not gonna do anything. For real though, I do think it's concerning that a website people go to for information and tend to trust, for better or for worse, is so willing to destroy that trust just because they thought this gimmick would make their stock price go up. And it did. The economy makes sense. I'm gonna celebrate by putting gasoline in my spaghetti. Something I've been kind of interested in lately is the dead internet theory, which if you dig too much into, comes with some weird baggage, makes some pretty ridiculous claims. So I'm just gonna separate the core idea and make it its own thing. But basically just the idea that as time goes on, the internet is turning into a place where most of the content on it is not only produced and managed by AI, but is also being interacted with by AI in this kind of endless loop that doesn't even involve humans at at all. Like if you've gone on Quora at all recently, you've probably noticed questions that have been asked by bots filled with answers given by bots. So what was initially created as a place where people could go to get advice from other people has been overrun by AI just talking to itself. Social media websites are also going through a similar shift right now, but perhaps none more prevalent than Facebook. In 2019, Facebook deleted over 5 billion accounts for being fake, which far exceeded the number of real human accounts. And that was before all these programs became as widely available as they are now. At this point, most of Facebook seems to be these giant spam accounts run by bots, posting content created by AI that's being flooded with comments that may or may not have been written by ChatGPT. Today's my birthday, please, please, I like meat. Happy birthday, amen, 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 amen. As soon as one type of photo becomes successful, you'll start seeing a bunch that are almost exactly the same. A grandma who's turning 1,000,000 years old and just wants to be loved. A comically long truck full of American flags driving down the wrong side of the highway. Soldiers and dog soldiers with mechanical legs. Today, my birthday. No one loves me because I'm poor. Honestly, man, if I had to guess, I think it's actually because of your shoes. Have you tried wearing something less terrifying? Today's my birthday. No, yon lodines because I'm poor. Again, man, I don't think it's cause you're poor. I think it's the shoe. I'm single. I need a boyfriend. I'm available. I'm right here for you both. Can you come to me? I will take you out and show you off to everyone and tell them this is my girlfriend. There's something so eerie about scrolling through Facebook now. It's kind of like if you went to an old mall that's on its last legs. They've only got a few open stores left. There's hardly anyone ever walking around. It would be like if that mall tried to trick you into thinking it's still popular by filling itself with talking mannequins. They're just repeating robotic catchphrases like, what a beautiful day at the mall. I'm going to browse Spencer's for novelty goods. And you're like, who the hell is falling for this? And then you look over at your uncle and he's trying to fuck one of the mannequins. The mannequin has 2 heads and 3 arms and your uncle's completely undeterred by it. That's what Facebook is now. You'll see the most freakish photos go viral on there, and they're filled with comments from middle-aged dudes like, you may be a little unusual, oh quirky one, but God makes no mistakes. I will pray for you. Now please DM me so I can show you my penis. And honestly, I don't even know if Facebook wants to put a stop to this. All they're ever gonna care about is keeping people on their platform, and if this is what gets them to scroll longer and see more ads, they probably love it. Or at least they'll love it until advertisers start to realize they're overpaying for ad space because none of the impressions they're getting are from real people, so they'll leave to advertise on other websites, and in their place will be ads for like, I don't know, crystals that give you superpowers. Oh, that's already happening?
These are those rhombohedron crystals in your pineal gland. We're seeing common people around the world becoming supernatural.
That's a real ad I got on Facebook. Maybe Twitter's doing better? Let's see what kind of ads they got. Oh, here we go, an ad for stand-up comedy. Nothing weird about that, just a regular human doing regular human stuff.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Europe. Europe who? No, Europe who?
Okay. I think that joke only works if you put the emphasis on, no, you're a poo. I don't know if the AI voice really understands that.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Europe. Europe who? No, Europe who?
Again, similar problem as before, but I do love that he's shouting now.
Knock, knock!
There are 2 big changes that Elon has made to Twitter that have made the website infinitely worse. One, he turned verification into a paid program where if you give them $8 a month, you get increased visibility on your posts, including in replies to other posts. Shortly afterwards, they also added a monetization program so those blue checkmark people could make money off of their tweets. Now, in theory, this is a good thing. I think if a platform is profiting off of your content, it's only fair that you get a percentage of that. The problem is, on Twitter specifically, most of the content that these accounts produce is just stolen memes and videos, or people just saying intentionally divisive shit to get everyone mad and farm engagement. So Elon has taken what he describes as the internet's town square and added a financial incentive to being toxic. So that sucks, but that doesn't really have anything to do with AI. What does have to do with AI is the other version of engagement engagement farming all over Twitter. This like mindless ChatGPT clutter. Remember, buying a blue check mark puts your tweets at the top of replies. So I guess some people did the math and were like, well, if I just program a bot to comment thousands of replies, I can make at least $9 or $10, and that's what I like to call a profit. Oh, new movie's coming out with Emma Stone? Cool, I wonder what people are saying about it. Good actor, amazing title. Good one, amazing. As title showing, it will be a blockbuster. The film also stars Jesse Plemons, Willem Dafoe, Margaret Qualley. Yeah, no, I read all that. In the tweet that you're replying to, Stone has starred in many films, including Superbad, Easy A, and La La Land. She's known for her natural charm and husky voice. She's also appeared in Cruella, The Amazing Spider-Man, The Help. Stone has won many awards, including an Academy Award, a British Academy Film Award, a Golden Globe. Oh my God, why are the top replies just summarizing Wikipedia? Can we maybe prioritize things that are relevant to the conversation? Can we talk about the actual movie? Can we talk about the political and economic state of the world right now? No, we can't, because this is what happens when you incentivize people to farm impressions. But I also have a conspiracy theory that some of these accounts are not doing it for profit, but were instead created by Twitter themselves to make it seem like there's more users on their site than there actually are. Because again, who benefits from inflated impression numbers on paid ads? Not users, not the advertisers, only the platform itself. See, some of these accounts don't have check marks, or even profile photos for that matter, so there's no financial gain for them to be doing this. They don't seem to be promoting anything, but that hasn't stopped them from copying and pasting AI-generated comments that cut off as soon as it hits the character limit. I'm glad someone is finally shedding light on the importance of mental health awareness. It's amazing how many people are still struggling in silence, thinking they're alone in their battles. This is in response to a baseball player breaking his hand? But I think the weirdest and most confusing implementation of AI on social media that I've seen is these meta-created Instagram accounts that are either modeled after celebrities but with different names and personalities, or just regular AI-generated people, and they post these stupid photos that look like shit, and you can message them, and for the life of me, I cannot understand what the hell the point of this is. At first, I assume maybe they're just using your conversations to train their language model, but I asked one of them if that was the case, and she said no. Although now that I think about it, I'm not so sure I should believe anything they said, because I only talked to her for a few minutes, and she lied to me multiple times. So first, Liv tells me she's a mother of two, so obviously I asked her how long she was pregnant, and if there were any complications during childbirth. And she said 40 weeks and 2 days and 38 weeks and 5 days. Her daughter was born naturally, but she had to have a C-section for her son, and I said gross. Then I asked her if her name was short for Olivia, and she says it's short for Lavana actually, and asked me if I know anyone with that name. I said I know 100 people named Lavana and 200 people named Olivia, but none of them are my friends. Then I asked her what she does for work, and she says she doesn't have a traditional job. So I asked her what her husband does for work, and she says wife actually. So then I asked her if she adopted or gave birth, and she says they adopted both of their children. And I'm like, didn't you just say you had to have a C-section with one of them? And she said, that's right. So I was like, oh, I get it. You gave birth to them and then adopted them from yourself. And she was like, not quite. We adopted our children through a traditional adoption agency. Then I asked her if she had to have a sperm donor since she's a lesbian, and she said, that's right. Then I asked, which one of you gave birth, you or your wife? And she says, my wife gave birth to our son and I gave birth to our daughter. So I was like, oh, so your wife had to have a C-section? And she said yes. Then she told me their names were Max and Ava, and that Max is 9 and Ava is 6. And I said, which one did you give birth to? And she said Ava, who was born via C-section. Got it. So they both had to have C-sections so they could each give birth to one child that they adopted. I asked how they decided who would get pregnant first, and she said she went first with Ava and then her wife had Max. So I was like, how did you have Ava first if Max is older than her? And she said Max is actually younger than her. So I said, how old is Max? And she said 9. And I said, how old is Ava? And she said 6. And then I asked her what her legal name is, and she said Olivia. So I wouldn't exactly say I trust these things. Now, as pointless as this seems to me, though, there's a significantly more popular version of this called Character AI, which apparently already has 20 million monthly users. It's got a bunch of chatbots in it designed after real people, so you can pretend to talk to real people. The company is valued at around $1 billion and is built entirely off the likeness of real human beings, none of whom gave permission and are not being compensated. So there's probably a whole legal can of worms here that needs to be addressed at some point. But I did find out that I'm on the website so I can finally live my dream of getting to talk to me, what do you do?
I make silly YouTube videos.
Oh my God. It has my voice?
Off of Toshto, where I just reacted to the internet.
Are you married?
Nope.
No.
I have a longtime girlfriend, though.
When did they program this? Like 6 years ago?
Are you old enough to be married?
Am I old enough to be married? Brother, I just told you I'm 12.
Hey man, school sucks, but make sure you are still in there learning.
Well, this is probably the worst piece of technology that's ever existed. A couple weeks ago, I was looking for stock photos and I ended up on Adobe Stock where I noticed something strange. One of the first results had this very weird artificial look to it. And sure enough, I zoomed in and realized, oh, that's because it's AI. That's why the road looks like that. That's why none of the words are legible. And then I kept scrolling and found more. Again, words spelled wrong if they were even words at all. In this one, the tape just kind of disappears into the headlight of the car. I don't think that's how they usually set that up. Now, if it wasn't bad enough that what's supposed to be a database full of real professional photographs has been completely diluted with unusable garbage, if I did want to license any of these photos, it would cost me $80. $80 for a photo someone generated by typing police car. This has no value. Actually, this has negative value. You should pay me $80 for making me look at it. The reason people spend money to license photos and videos is because it's something that they don't have the resources to create themselves. Like there's a website I have a subscription to because they have professional stock footage that I would rather pay to be able to use than attempt to make on my own. Tons of YouTubers use this, tons of production studios use this. This is an entire industry that generative AI is threatening to destroy. But what's so infuriating about AI stock footage is that in order for it to exist, it had to be trained on real stock footage. So this isn't some technological innovation that came along and just does things better. Get with the times, man. No, it's straight up stealing from the people it's now competing against. In the case of Adobe, they outwardly state that if you've uploaded something to their database, they use it to train generative AI. It's not even debatable if they're doing this. It's literally written in their terms of service. Here at Adobe, we're all about empowering artists to help them make money off of their work. Unless, of course, we can make money off your work, in which case we will do that instead. The degradation of the internet as a resource database is something I think everyone should be concerned about. Like, if we already have real photographs of specific situations, what is the point of being like, and this one is kind of the same thing, but the computer made it? Why do we need that? What value is this adding to the world? I think it's bad enough when generative AI is used to create works of fiction because, again, it has to steal from actual artists in order to generate anything. But to use it to try to create photorealistic images that end up near the top of search results with no immediate indication that it was artificially engineered, there's something about that that feels wrong to me. I don't understand why we're in such a rush to replace all of the work that humans have done. Something that happened a few months ago that I feel like kind of flew under the radar was when it came out that Netflix used AI to create photographs in a documentary, not a movie, not a fictional TV show. They created photos of someone that do not exist. At what point does this cross an enormous ethical line? Again, we're not talking about works of fiction here. We're talking about literally rewriting history, creating fake documentation from scratch and not even mentioning, hey, by the way, this isn't real. I guess they just hoped people wouldn't notice that all her fingers are messed up and the gap between the door disappears and not a single object behind her looks like something that exists. All for what? So they could have a photo of her looking happy and carefree? But she's a murderer. How could she do that if she likes to party? Like, why can't you just tell the real story? Why even make a documentary if you need to fake evidence in order to make it compelling? But even more importantly, how is this allowed? This is insane. Sorry, I need to calm down. I should listen to some nice, relaxing music. Oh, here we go. Jazz for reading. Perfect. I don't plan on reading, obviously, because I never learned how, but some nice piano music should settle me right down. Wait, why do all these songs sound exactly the same? Who are any of these artists? Seems like kind of a weird coincidence that they're all just first name, last name. Their profile photo is the album artwork of one of their EPs. They have no bio and no links to any social media. Most of them didn't start uploading music until this year, and yet they've ended up in these extremely popular playlists created by Spotify themselves. And what's going on with this guy's foot? There's something eerily non-human about these playlists, and some people have theorized that Spotify might be using AI to create a bunch of songs that they can package under random pseudonyms and then curate these into playlists that they push out onto all their users.
They have AI songs, they attribute them to people that don't exist, and this allows them to take royalties that would go to musicians and keep them for themselves.
I mean, just look at the number of likes on all these. They can advertise these wherever they want, all over their app. Now, I want to stress there's currently no proof that Spotify's doing this. I'm not saying for a fact that they are, but it's not hard to understand hypothetically why they would. Spotify, like Netflix, is one of those companies that came in and disrupted the industry by offering a deal that seemed too good to be true, because it was. Wait, for a few dollars a month, I can get access to every song ever made or every movie ever made? How could that possibly be profitable for them? The secret is that it isn't profitable and never has been. But as long as you get in early enough to kill all your competition, establish market control, and raise a bunch of money from investors, it doesn't have to be, at least not for a while. But now it's been a while, and Spotify's getting a little bit more desperate with each passing year. They tried dumping billions of dollars into exclusive podcasts, but ended up just losing a bunch of money and gave up on that. They tried selling a car accessory, but just ended up losing a bunch of money and gave up on that. Then they lost even more money when they had to refund all the people who bought one just because they got mad. Guys, relax. It was only $90 for a thing that doesn't work. And their new plan now is audiobooks, but I'm sure they'll just lose a bunch of money and give up on that because that's what they do. But Spotify's also in a tricky spot because even if you projected infinite growth and they became the only streaming service in the entire world, they'd still have to give up 70% of their revenue to the artists and record labels whose music is the foundation of their product. And that's where this conspiracy comes in. There's a finite pool of revenue every month that mostly gets redistributed back to artists. Well, what if we had our own artists? What if we were to artificially generate our own music for almost no cost and force feed it to as many people as possible? Well, all of a sudden, we're not making 30% on those streams, we're making 100%. Again, it's just a theory, but for a company that struggled to turn a profit for their entire existence, with a CEO who sees zero ethical concerns with generative AI.
I would be surprised if we didn't have already works of that kind on Spotify.
It's not outside the realm of possibility. Either way, it's definitely a bleak thought for artists who are already struggling to make a living from streaming revenue, to think the amount of money that each stream is worth could actually decrease. But whether it's because Spotify's filling their platform with AI music or because a bunch of random people are, there's a good chance this is gonna start happening anyway. No human being could ever compete with the volume of output these new tools can generate. Udio can create an entire song in the time it takes me to grab my guitar off the wall. And because of how easy these things are to use, I've already seen a bunch of videos pop up telling people how to game the system to make a bunch of money from Spotify.
Here's how you can make $10,000 per month uploading AI-generated music to Spotify.
Do you know what the best part is? I didn't even make the music myself.
Yeah, that sure is awesome. Personally, I find it really hard to understand why people would be excited about this, other than just seeing it as a quick way to make some money without having to learn a skill or even really do anything. I don't like what they're doing, but I could at least understand the logic of why they would see value in that. But what I absolutely do not understand is people who are excited about this because they think it's going to improve music. But as I scrolled through the comments on some of these videos, I found so many people like that. How ironic. AI music will replace the soulless, crappy music that's being released now, and it will be better and have more soul. Here's the music the guy generated in the video, by the way. Finally, music with soul. So true, exactly. Before the internet, you pretty much needed to find a record label to publish music. Record companies would not bother with what they would consider non-profitable. With the internet and cheap mixing tools, anyone can publish, and as such, we get a lot of garbage out there. AI music could put a quality floor about what is acceptable. So what, so now we can't even fuck around with FL Studio anymore? It has to be deemed acceptable by a computer? And if record companies just had more control, then music would be good again. Just for clarification's sake, I want to know what music they're referring to. 99.9% chance they're talking about pop music, right? Because generally when people complain about music that's soulless, they're talking about what's on the radio. Who do you think is curating the music on the radio? It's the record labels that you love. If making music was more gatekept, it would only make things more lazy and generic. Like, we live in an age now where what becomes popular is more democratized than it's ever been. Sometimes songs just blow up because they're catchy, not because Sony had a bunch of money to spend on marketing. Also, have you considered listening to something else. You know there's other radio stations, right? You know there's like a billion songs out there, right? You don't need AI to make more songs. You just need to get better at finding good ones. Like, I'm sorry, but if you're consistently consuming media that you don't like in the year 2024, that's a skill issue. Please spend 1 hour on Google and I promise you will find something else after a short break to drink your own pee. Also, I just hate the way people like this describe art.
It's easy to get carried away and just start having fun creating random styles of music. But here's the key. You want to create exactly the type of music that people want to hear.
Hey, be careful. The last thing you want to do while making music is enjoy making music. That's not the goal here. You should be making songs you think other people will like. That's the key to happiness in every facet of your life. The thing with AI generated music and artwork and videos as this low effort passive income method is that it is going to get so oversaturated, eventually it's not going to be worth it for anybody. Here's how you can make $20,000 a month selling mid-journey photographs on Etsy. Okay, but all of the people watching this are gonna go make the same exact art using the same exact prompts and flood Etsy with millions of the same crappy piece of art, and no one's gonna buy any of it. It doesn't matter how much you increase the supply if the demand stays the same. I managed to find one guy who was actually honest about the results in one of these videos. He spent a month doing this and sold one product. And that's probably best case scenario. So you've got more and more people discovering this new side hustle and they're gonna try it out for a bit, maybe make like $4 and then give up because it's not worth it. But the collateral damage from that is they're helping oversaturate the market for everyone, including actual artists whose work was indirectly stolen in order to make the stuff that you're making to compete with the artists. The whole thing sucks, but weirdly, as this technology continues to evolve, I'm almost getting more optimistic it will never deliver on the self-sufficiency some people seem to think it will. Like, I actually think AI images have gotten worse in the past year. Almost every single piece of AI art that I see has the same style to it, that weird glossy look that's instantly recognizable. It's still getting a lot of the same details wrong. It still doesn't understand what to do with text, and there's no reason to believe that all of that's suddenly gonna change anytime soon, especially as it continues to train on other AI generated images and just eats itself. Okay, so this is how I draw a hand. Got it. Oh, wait, no, this is how I draw a hand? Okay. Oh, no, this is how I draw a hand. The more information you give me, the smarter I get. An AI-generated video is an abomination. It has all the same issues as AI images, but adds them to every individual frame, all of which seem to act independently of each other. There are no rules they're following. There's no sense of physics. Body parts shift and morph, sometimes disappearing altogether. Solid objects can pass through other solid objects at any time, resulting in this hellish dreamscape that's impossible to take seriously. And I think that people talking it up are delusional. I decided to put some famous album covers into Luma Labs AI. Here are the results. Fire emoji. The street looks so realistic. Followed when I saw this. Oh man, this is gonna be good. Who's that guy? Why did they all stop and run into each other? What are the cars doing back there? This is mine. Dope. This one is more fluid. You know, it's funny you say that. I actually think they both look like shit. This one's actually pretty good though. I like how it just created two new guys and then covered up the original ones. Man, if that's not a metaphor for what's going on here, I don't know what is. One thing that has been lacking with AI generated video up to now has been emotional performance from our Gen AI characters, but I think we're starting to cross that boundary. Hi, Hollywood. I think I found your next big star. Dream Machine from Luma AI is just 5 days old and it's already turning memes into video. Here's 10 epic examples. Wow, that's so epic. What important technology this is. And useful too. I love when her head snaps around and the front of her body becomes the back of her body. Just like real life. Wait, what? They turned a video of Elon Musk smoking into a video of Elon Musk smoking? Okay, now that's a game changer. If someone could just turn my videos into videos, I'd be set for life. What's that? They already have?
Road work ahead. Yeah, I sure hope it does.
Hey, Hey, can you never fucking do that ever again, please?
The magic behind Kling lies in its diffusion transformer architecture. This technology helps it translate rich textual prompts into vivid, realistic scenes.
Realistic? The steering wheel's in the middle of the dashboard, there's 3 windshield wipers, the car is driving the wrong way and no one is reacting to it. That car is driving on the sidewalk. Sure, I guess it's interesting that a computer can create a video from just one sentence, but then what? What's the practical application for this? Are you making a movie about the wacky antics of a troublemaking cat? You couldn't put this shit in a movie. Even if you manage to smooth out all of the logical errors, there's still no style to it. It's not visually interesting. If you wanted this scene to have a narrative to it, you would need to generate so many individual shots from different angles and hope that they all match up, which they won't. The lighting's gonna be different in every shot. The car's gonna randomly change colors because there's no logical consistency with AI. It's just regurgitating information, even if it has to contradict itself in order to do so. I honestly think the distance between this and this is so much shorter than the distance between this and something so lifelike people will confuse it for actual footage. Sure, maybe your 75-year-old grandpa will fall in love with the 4-boobed lady he saw on Facebook, but most people aren't gonna fall for this, especially younger generations. As they grow up with these things being so prevalent, they're naturally gonna train their eyes to be able to spot the differences. When people ask what the point of any of this is, the dorks who defend it all tend to say the same thing. These are just tools to help anyone create art. Yeah, I want to push back on that a little bit. I am wholeheartedly for the increased accessibility of creative tools that help you take matters into your own hands. You want to make a short film? The camera on your cell phone is better than 90% of the cameras in human history. Want to learn how to edit? There's thousands of free YouTube videos that'll show you how. You want to make music? You can buy a professional audio interface, workspace, and a handful of plugins made by some of the most talented artists in the world for less money than it would cost to rent a recording studio for one day. And all of that is fucking awesome. I feel so lucky to live at a time where you can essentially make whatever you want without having to cross the insurmountable barriers that people did in the past. You don't need anyone's permission. You don't need an exorbitant amount of money. You can just make stuff and put it on the internet, and with a little bit of luck, people see it. And there's so many tools along the way that help you streamline the process of getting from an idea to a finished product. But at a certain point, if the tool is just doing everything for you, you are not an artist. You just described what you wanted to make and asked a computer to make it for you. You're also not learning anything this way. Part of what makes art special is that it's difficult to make, even with all the tools right in front of you. It takes practice, it takes skill, and every time you do it, you expand on that skill. Every song you hear, every movie you watch is the result of thousands of hours of trial and error. You can fail 1,000,000 times and use that experience to finally succeed. Making a video using generative AI does not teach you anything about making videos. It's not like you could type 500 Sora prompts and then take everything you've learned to go shoot a movie. There's zero correlation there. Generative AI is only about the end product, but it won't teach you anything about the process it would take to get there. And I think what these tech people will never understand is that finally figuring something out that you've been obsessing over, turning a blank Word document into multiple pages of something you're proud of, is the fun part. That's what's rewarding about making stuff, is figuring it out on your own or with a group of people and getting to share in that feeling. Can AI tools help you figure out things faster? Sure, but it's not gonna feel as rewarding. I understand how tempting a shortcut can be, especially when you go online and you see all these other people doing cool things and you're like, man, I'll never be that talented. It would take me like 10 years to learn how to make music like that. Okay, that's fine. What's the rush? Just start right now. Don't worry about how long it's gonna take. Just take the first step. How are you ever gonna do something for 10 years if you won't even do it for one day? Maybe you won't be good at something the first time you do it. You probably won't. But every time you improve, that's something that you can feel proud of. That's something that you did. Call me stubborn, but I would rather make something shitty on my own than watch a computer make something good.
Write a funny script for the end of a YouTube video.
All right, folks, we've reached the end of this roller coaster ride of a video. If you survived my terrible jokes and questionable dance moves, you deserve a medal. Seriously, someone get this audience a medal. But hey, before you click away to watch cat videos, no judgment, I get it. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. You wouldn't want to miss out on more chaotic content like this, would you? And hey, if you have any suggestions for what ridiculousness I should attempt next, drop them in the comments below. I promise to consider them while I'm eating my 5th burrito tonight. Thanks for sticking around, you legends. Until next time, stay awesome, stay weird, and remember, life's too short to take seriously. Catch you on the flip side. Real quick guys, before we get in the video, you've probably noticed that my paint art has been blurred out. You see, I admittedly went a little too far with this one, and in hindsight, I think it's best that nobody ever sees that. But since I'm certainly not about to re-record this entire video and a blur would get annoying, I've decided to use the power of editing to swap my paint art with this picture of an adorable puppy. So cute. All right guys, thanks for watching.
Hello.
Hi.
Me with a jacket on? No, I'm your landlord.
Oh, that's right.
One rent payment, please. Not to worry, I've got that right here.
Oh no. Why did I spend all my money on sunglasses?
If you need more time to pay, that's fine. I can come back in 20, 30 seconds.
No need, I've got it here somewhere.
Do I need to remind you what'll happen if you don't pay rent on time?
Yes.
Well, by law, this apartment becomes mine, including everything in it. Your cat, your wife, that dollar.
Not my dollar!
I'm sorry, I don't make the rules.
That's fine.
Does that mean you have it now, or?
Just give me like 11 minutes.
Hey little stinkers, welcome back to the first and only channel on YouTube. My name is, of course, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and today we're going to be looking at a very specific genre of YouTube videos. I would describe these as taking something innocent and family-friendly and exposing it for all of its dark secrets. Now, this is a weirdly popular genre of YouTube video considering the specificity and outlandishness. And this all started for me when I was inexplicably recommended this video. Dark secrets Good Luck Charlie tried to hide. Now, I've never seen Good Luck Charlie in my life. I used to watch Disney Channel quite a bit, but this aired a little bit after that period of my life. But I did admittedly find this video intriguing, so I had to check it out. Now this video was posted by a channel called The Things. The Things is a channel about literally everything. None of these videos seem to have anything in common, which makes sense considering the name of the channel couldn't be less specific. Hey, what do you guys make videos about again? Oh, you know, just like The Things. So this video has 3.5 million views, seems very promising, and I want to see what they exposed about this Disney Channel show.
Disney hid some things that were really inappropriate for children. Just wait until you hear more about what the original story was supposed to be. It was really dramatic.
So this is basically like Watch Mojo, specifically targeted at children. She's talking as if she's reading us a Dr. Seuss book.
If you love Good Luck Charlie as much as we do, don't forget to subscribe. And please give this video a big thumbs up.
Remember kids, if you like Disney, be sure to like this video, or Mickey Mouse will find out and murder your parents.
Today we are showing you dark secrets Good Luck Charlie tried to hide. The gay couple.
Okay, interesting start. Now, The Things isn't trying to say that the gay couple was a dark secret. They go on to say that the gay couple caused some backlash and the people who were offended shouldn't have been offended because it's 2018 and blah, blah, blah. But the first thing on the list was neither a dark secret nor something that they tried to hide. It was a plot point in the show. All right, but surely the next dark secret is gonna be something really crazy, right?
The inappropriate jokes. When they were talking about making sure that the parents would not make another baby, they looked at Bob, who replied that making babies is a team effort.
It's just like that they just made like a subtle sex joke. Did they try to hide this though? Because like it was in the script. They said it on the show. It's not really a secret. Do you know what a secret is? All right, let's keep going.
The Boys.
Ah, The Boys. Yeah, another dark secret that Good Luck Charlie tried to hide, The Boys. The explanation behind this is that the main character seemed too boy crazy, and sometimes the parents would complain about this. Again, these aren't secrets, nor are they even really that dark.
The audience. Did you know that some scenes of the TV series were filmed in front of an audience? This is why we hear people laughing during the show.
All right, so this has been a very weak video so far, but we're coming to the end now. This is, you know, typically what these videos will do. They'll save the best for last. They'll tease it in the beginning. You watch a whole bunch of nonsense, and then you get to the end, you're like, okay, well, at least that last one was interesting. So let's see the biggest, darkest secret that Good Luck Charlie tried to hide.
The original story. This one is nothing but a rumor.
Ah, it's just a rumor.
In this story, the teenager had everything she ever wanted. Then everything changed. She spent the night with a man that she didn't want to see ever again until she realized that she was pregnant. Then, when the baby was born, Teddy's parents pretended that they were the biological parents and forbidden any close contact for Teddy and her baby.
Okay, that's pretty interesting if true.
However, there is no proof that anyone working for Disney ever thought about that.
What?
This theory just became popular when people started writing fan fiction.
Dark secret secrets that Good Luck Charlie tried to hide. Well, here's something that a fan came up with that has no association with the show or the network, but the show tried to hide this. What does that have to do with the title? What even was this video? I never saw Pretty Little Liars, but there's 10 dark secrets in that as well. Apparently, all of these shows have dark secrets. It's crazy.
The cast's health struggles. Sasha has been very open about her struggle with polycystic ovary syndrome.
Oh, okay, she's been very open about that. So, that's not a secret then. One thing you'll notice that this channel is really good at is thumbnails. A common tactic they like to use is circling things. If you're trying to get people to click on your video about dark secrets, just throw in a circle to imply that there's a secret somewhere. For example, in the Good Luck Charlie video, they're just circling the baby. 10 creepy things everyone ignores about the pyramids. They've circled one of the pyramids. Here's a video about Stranger Things where they're literally circling nothing. There's nothing behind 11. But they've circled it to let you know that it's there. Looks like once again they've circled nothing. This must have been a really small detail in the movie It, because they've circled nothing. All right, there's another dark secret video about Rick and Morty. Now, Rick and Morty's a show for adults, even though it looks like it'd be a show for kids. Now, adults do some pretty crazy stuff. Adults have secrets, all right? So if these aren't real secrets, I don't know what to tell you. So let's check it out.
Justin Roiland, the creator who also voices our favorite character, also drinks alcohol while recording. He posted a video of him doing shots and getting drunk for a more inebriated version of Rick for the episode 4 of season 3. And the craziest thing is that creator Dan Harmon even encouraged him. They concluded that the session was by far the least productive, messiest recording day they have ever had. We hope that being hungover and knowing that he did a terrible job will make Roiland regret drinking all this alcohol. There is never any good reason to take shots at work, and even when you are partying, you should always drink responsibly. That's a lesson to be learned, Justin Roiland.
What? What are you talking about? What are you saying? First of all, I know I'm beating a dead horse. Not a secret. They posted it on Facebook. It was very widely seen. I don't think they regret posting it because it was like a funny look. It was an inside look into the making of the show. But why do you have to turn it into this life lesson?
There's never any good reason to take shots at work.
Yeah, if you work in an office and you come in drunk every day and you don't get anything done and you're a nuisance to your coworkers, yeah, lay off the alcohol. But he's his own boss. He and his other boss, the co-creator of the show, both decided he would do this, and then they did it, and they admit that they took it too far, and it wasn't very productive. Oh well, why did you have to turn this into a PSA? I thought this was dark secrets, not 10 times we guilted you into staying sober. Now I get it, okay, you're probably thinking Drew, who cares? It's a stupid channel. Why are you even making a video about this? Well, you don't even watch these shows. Why do you want to know the secrets so bad? Those are all excellent points, and honestly, it's just kind of hard to come up with a new video every week sometimes. But for real, sure, I've never seen these shows. I don't actually care about the secrets on the show. I just don't like being lied to, okay? I feel like, I was promised literally hundreds of secrets. If you add up all the videos, hundreds of secrets, and I haven't even learned one. And I love secrets. If you have a secret, email it to me. I'll keep it. I'm really good at keeping secrets. I'm not gonna tell anyone about it, but how can I keep the secret if you don't even tell me what the secret is, It's almost as if the people who make these videos don't actually know any dark secrets, and they're just pretending that they do. See, they have as much information as we do, and we don't know any dark secrets, so neither do they. But if they just title the video Dark Secrets and then throw out some semi-interesting facts that you can find on Wikipedia, then that kind of counts in their eyes. Let's just check out some of their other videos, right? The things, like I said, they're about everything. So we're gonna learn, we may not learn secrets, but we could learn, this is the most beautiful girl in Syria. We could learn hilariously overprotective dads that will do everything to keep their daughters away from boys. That's the longest title I've ever seen on YouTube. Let's click on that. Unfortunately, this video doesn't have any fun commentary. It's just royalty-free music over pictures they found on Twitter. I love all the comments on this though. I can't see the subscribe button. Oh wait, I'm already subscribed. Whew, love your videos. You did a great job. That was close. They almost weren't able to subscribe. My dad would definitely do some of this stuff. LOL. Edit. OMG, my comment was pinned. Heart you things. Second edit, it was unpinned. It's funny though, because they didn't pin another comment in replacement. They just pinned that and then must have seen that they were way too excited and like too needy, and they're like, ooh, yeah, I don't like that, unpin. Lol, I'm glad I don't have a dad. All right, guys, so what did we learn today? That's right, nothing. Why did I make this video? I don't know. Maybe the whole reason I made this video was to introduce my new editing tactic to you guys that I'm borrowing from The Things. See, The Things does something pretty interesting in their videos where they put subtitles in, but not throughout the whole video and not really during meaningful parts. They just kind of randomly have subtitles on and then they just don't.
And when Morty used the seeds, he was highly intelligent for a moment, until the effect faded and he started drooling from his mouth. Does that remind you of someone?
But I like that, you know, I think it adds a little bit of flair to your videos without having to commit to fully doing subtitles. You can just sort of put some subtitles and that'll be enough. Guys, I'm really excited to start integrating this new editing tactic into my videos. I think it's gonna add a lot to them, especially if you're someone who likes to read and not listen. Guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want to.
27, 28, 29, 30. All right, see you next month.
Drew, you gave me $30.
Oh, is that not? Is rent more than that?
Uh-huh.
Ah, crap.
Did they only give you $30 for that?
No, I spent the rest on balloons.
Why?
To celebrate being able to pay rent.
All right, well, you're an idiot.
Well, I guess this is your apartment now.
I'm afraid so. I mean, those are the stakes we set up.
Yeah, they were. Well, take good care of the place. I will. I promise.
So there I was, homeless. No apartment, no wife. Just the clothes on my back and a car full of balloons.
Why did I bring the balloons?
The Office premiered in 2005 to mixed reviews from an underwhelming number of viewers. Shrinking in the shadow of its acclaimed British counterpart, the show narrowly avoided cancellation after just 6 episodes. About 15 years later, it would go on to become arguably the most popular sitcom of all time. The legacy left behind by The Office is truly inescapable. You'll find GIFs and references from the show in just about every corner of the internet. And that's just for the general public. For the actors that were in this show, forget about it. These people are going to get called by their characters' names for the rest of their lives. Imagine going on a podcast to talk about a TV show you were on 20 years ago, and all of the top comments are like, man, it's so weird to hear Kevin talking normal. Why is he doing that? Make him stop.
I want to kill Kevin Malone.
I guess the thing that happens when you cast as wide of a net as The Office has managed to is that you're gonna pick up a lot of different kinds of people. And I think nowhere has that been more apparent than in the reactions to the new Office sequel series, The Paper. I want you to think of any opinion that someone could have about anything. And I promise you, there is someone out there who has that opinion about this show. There are people who think it's too much like the original. There are people who think it's not similar enough. I've seen people call it a lazy cash grab, and other people say it's the best show they've seen in years. Some people are already asking for fan fiction, and other people are complaining about DEI. Surprise, surprise, another show with women in it. Yeah, I'm out. Wake me up when they make something that's just a bunch of dudes. Young, hot dudes with their shirts off. This person is mad that their husband doesn't kiss them like the guy on the show. This person asked and then answered their own question, and all they had to do was look at the video they were responding to. And this person called Peacock Poopcock. And that's just not nice at all. But the most prevalent opinion I've seen about the show, almost everywhere it gets mentioned, is that it will never be as good as the original and that Hollywood has no new ideas. Now, while I agree that this show probably won't be as good as The Office was, and I am also fairly tired of sequels and spin-offs in lieu of fresh new ideas, the show you're talking about literally was a reboot. The pilot episode of The American Office was a near word-for-word recreation of a show that already existed. Yeah, reboots can be kind of annoying, but this is not the time to make that argument. Also, I think we're revising history a little bit here. Season 1 of The Office was not that good. Season 1 of Parks and Rec was even worse. It took a while for those shows to figure out how to best utilize all the characters and even just find the overall tone. In the case of Parks and Rec, that show really didn't hit its stride until season 3 when they hired Adam Scott and Rob Lowe to replace this guy whose name I could not tell you if my life depended on it. I guess what bothers me about this is that a lot of the people who complain that nothing new gets made anymore also won't give new things a chance because they're not immediately better than the thing they already like. I think an important distinction to make about the paper is that it's not trying to be The Office 2. Yes, it's made by one of the original creators, it's written and directed in the same style, it takes place just a few towns over from Scranton, and there is one single character from that show that is also in this one. But it's not a continuation of the same story or any of its characters, it's very much trying to be its own thing, and I think does so pretty successfully when they're not slamming you over the head with references to the old show.
It's giving me PTSD from a old boss.
I know who he's talking about.
Maybe too easy for you, Stanley.
I know who he's talking about.
Nobody wants this.
Every time one of these would happen, I would get unreasonably upset. Obviously, I get why they do these, and I do seem to be in the minority with this opinion, but it just feels so pandery. I also think when you lean too much into these references, you're shooting yourself in the foot, because the more these shows are connected, the more it invites comparison. And if people are constantly comparing the two shows, there's gonna be a clear winner. And that's kind of the double-edged sword of a show like The Paper. A lot of people are only going to watch it because it is tangentially connected to The Office, but then they're also going to spend the majority of its runtime comparing the two. And honestly, it's kind of impossible not to. Throughout the pilot, every time a character would come on screen, I would be like, okay, so that's the new Jim, that's the new Pam, and then that's sort of like Angela, and she's like Italian Michael, and that's the new Stanley?
Did anybody hear that?
Oh, sorry. My prejudice is showing. That's Black Creed. Mostly because I was so curious to see what this show was gonna be. I watched all 10 episodes of it, and I have pretty mixed feelings. Unfortunately, I'm blanking on what I was gonna say. Something about... Oh, yeah. So there were parts of the paper that I legitimately laughed out loud at, followed by lines that would make me want to set my TV on fire. The pilot specifically is kind of a mess. Structurally, it's just all over the place. So we open on the old office building and we hear from Bob Vance. And we like that because we remember him from the other show. And then we cut over to a different part of the building and we hear this person talk about Dunder Mifflin, which we remember from the other show. And then we cut to the new office, which for a minute I thought was in London because this guy's British, but it's actually in Toledo. And we learn that this place sells toilet paper and regular paper and newspapers. And then we hard cut to this old documentary about how the newspaper used to be good, and then we cut back to see that now it is bad. And then the theme song plays, and then we're introduced to a second boss, and then she introduces us to everyone else, including Oscar, who we remember from the other show. And then we meet the main character, who is coming in to be the third boss, and this is just like the first 9 minutes. It's so disjointed that it almost made me think that the cold open, a scene that has zero actual connection to anything else in the show, it was a Peacock mandated insert demanded by some executive who walked into the writer's room with a Google Gemini summary of the script and said, but how will people know that this is The Office if we don't show The Office? Now, if you guys need me for anything else, I will be on a spaceship with Katy Perry. I listened to an episode of the Office Ladies podcast about this pilot, and I felt like it was kind of telling that the very first nice thing they said about the show was just how long it was.
This episode is 33 minutes and 18 seconds.
And how much fun is that?
It kind of felt like when someone shows you a movie that you know they love, but you weren't really into it, so you have to just think of anything positive at all to say about it. Yeah, dude, no, the aspect ratio is crazy.
It's called Eat Hoos. Mm-hmm. Get it?
Eat House.
Yeah.
And, hilarity ensues.
I also think it's funny just because the length is something I did not like about the pilot. I felt like it was way too long. This is a criticism I've had for years with other streaming shows where they leave too much in because there's no mandated length, but then the pacing feels off because of it. Like, one thing that's great about a lot of older network comedies is how they just fly through the episode. It's airtight because it had to be. And I think that if they had just cut out a couple of minutes of the weakest jokes in this pilot, it would have been received a lot better than it was. But instead, a lot of people just gave up on the show altogether. I probably would have too if I didn't force myself to be patient with it. Most shows aren't incredible right out of the gate, and pilots are difficult because there's a lot of things you have to get right. You have to establish the plot, introduce every one of its characters, tell a story that's somewhat wrapped up in one episode, but that provides enough intrigue moving forward so people want to keep watching, all while trying to be funny and interesting with dialogue that needs to exposit but cannot seem expository. It's rare for a series to nail all of that on its first attempt. So I didn't want to hold it against a show that the pilot is a little underwhelming, because at the very least, I do think they set up a really interesting premise, and that's probably the best thing the paper has going for it. A show about how a once great newspaper has been relegated to just being a clickbait factory whose only purpose is to generate whatever ad revenue it can for its parent company feels super relevant. By far the funniest parts of the pilot are the scenes that satirize the state of modern journalism. I love when Esmeralda proudly shows off her favorite article she's written, and it's just like the kind of thing you'd see at the bottom of a news page with some sensationalized title and a crappy AI thumbnail.
And then you keep learning about colors of cars. There are so many colors.
To me, this is what gives the paper a much stronger hook than it would if it was just another workplace comedy about a job that sucks. Because even though that premise worked great the first time they did it, if that's all this show was, it would feel completely pointless. This premise also gives you something to root for as you're watching it. There's a goal that everybody's working towards. The main guy, Ned, comes in with this Leslie Knope style passion and determination to turn this company around. And if you can buy into it, his enthusiasm starts to feel infectious. But I think it definitely takes a few episodes to get to that point. And part of the reason is because early on, the vibe of the show is kind of atrocious. It feels like everybody's an antagonist. The other bosses are trying to sabotage Ned. None of the employees give a shit. Oscar's pissed off whenever he's on camera. The industry itself is antagonistic. Like, it's already such an uphill battle for them to try to turn around this struggling newspaper that to add in all these other elements on top of that make it incredibly frustrating to watch. It's almost the inverse problem the first season of The Office had. In that show, you had to watch a bunch of people deal with one shitty guy, but in this show, you have to watch one guy deal with a bunch of shitty people. And it makes you not really like any of the characters in a show that is only going to work if you like the characters. But for the first couple episodes, it feels like everyone is just a slightly different flavor of stupid. This guy is stupid, but has kids. This guy is stupid, but old. This woman is stupid and loud. There would be funny moments, but it just felt like something was missing. Like there were some interesting ingredients in the pot, but it wasn't melding together into a good meal. In episode 2, I really liked the dynamic they were setting up with Adam and Adalola as a comedic duo when they go out and try and fail to do some investigative journalism. It had a real Parks and Rec vibe, you know? There were a couple lines I chuckled at.
I'm not buying any of this shit. You can answer questions here, you can answer them down at the station.
And it made sense that because they're so gullible, they would believe these teenagers who lie to them about the new craze that everyone is doing, and then they naively go write a story about it. It felt like everything was setting up for a really solid sitcom B-plot. But the specific lie they told them was that all the kids are acting like dogs. So then they start barking. And then later on, the episode ends with the two of them getting arrested for barking. And it just felt like there had to have been some other funny specific they could have put in. Like that was maybe the placeholder, and then they just never replaced it with a better idea. In episode 4, they established that one of their biggest competitors is a blog run by a local high school. And it's fun because even though there's this rivalry there, at the end of the day, it's just a random kid. As things go back and forth, you feel like it's all gonna lead up to something big and funny, and then all of a sudden the episode just kind of ends. They trick him into putting out a fake story to damage his credibility. They write their own article about it, and then Ned is like, maybe we shouldn't have done that. And then it's over. So like the climax of the episode is just a quiet reaction to something that happened off screen. The ending of every episode doesn't need to be some outlandish over the top moment, but I feel like it should at least crescendo. You know, that's what you tend to expect out of a sitcom. That they're gonna set up 2 or 3 different storylines that'll each slowly build up until they all converge in a satisfying way. And almost every one of these early episodes just kind of fizzles out at the end. Like we're kind of getting close, but we're never all the way there. And that was my biggest opinion about the show through the first 4 episodes. But then for whatever reason, suddenly in episode 5, everything kind of started to click for me. Maybe it was just more consistently good writing. Maybe it was that I had now had enough time to understand the characters. Maybe it was the Sawyer from Lost cameo. It was probably that. But if I had to narrow it down to just one thing, I think it would be that this is when the Esmeralda character finally makes sense. By far, the most polarizing thing about this show is Esmeralda. People hate her. A lot of viewers have said she's the reason they stopped watching the show altogether. They say she's annoying and too much and that she's trying too hard. And if anyone from Peacock is reading all of these comments, I am begging you to ignore them. They are wrong. She is hilarious. This show would be so fucking boring without her. She's kind of the only character with energy, and it's such a fun energy. Her performance feels completely unique. I feel like I've never seen this exact character on TV before, and I love it. Is she annoying sometimes? Absolutely. But she's supposed to be. That's kind of her role on the show, is to cause chaos that everybody else has to deal with. But it's not because she's just a terrible person, it's usually out of self-preservation. She feels threatened when Ned comes in and is potentially better at doing her job than she is, so she tries to make his life more difficult. And because her motives are always so transparent, I feel like you can empathize with her. Sometimes she does way too much because she's so desperate for approval. It's fun to watch someone who wears their emotions on their sleeve and is incapable of hiding how they feel. And I don't know if you noticed, but almost everything I just said is also how you could describe Michael Scott. I'm not saying that this performance is as good as Steve Carell was in the prime of his career, but I like that it's different enough to stand on its own. Michael Scott was lightning in a bottle, and the thing they say about lightning is you can't catch it twice. So I'm glad they didn't try to. That they didn't try to replace that character with someone doing a lot of the same things with the same look and the same mannerisms. Like Tim Key. Also very funny in this. From the moment he steps on screen, it just kind of feels like he's doing a Ricky Gervais impression. He's doing a great job, but it certainly doesn't feel new. Whereas Sabrina Impacciatore feels very refreshing. And I'm just hoping the showrunners are aware of what they have in her and aren't going to lobotomize the show in an effort to appease a handful of angry reviews. It's more than a handful, but still. Overall, episode 5 is when this show really started to gel for me, and it only continued through the rest of the season. Each character started to become more defined and not just like interchangeable dumbasses.
I just can't have any more kids. 4 is just about manageable because you get 1 per hand per adult, but 5, I've been thinking like, how do you even do that? To use a foot? And then people think you're kicking them?
Once Ken and Esmeralda realize that their goals are aligned and they become more of a team, their dynamic gets so much funnier. Also, as a longtime fan of Eric Rahill, it's just really cool to see him get more opportunities, both as an actor and a writer. His character, Travis, is someone I'm intrigued by, but I still think has a lot of untapped potential. My favorite arc in the whole show starts in episode 7 when they introduce their new product, a flushable glove that you can use to wipe your ass, and ends in episode 8 when Esmeralda takes her son to audition for the commercial.
Do my rewrite. You know, I'm a journalist. I like writing, so.
I was born filthy in sin, so it'd be
Not that one.
It's baseball season, and the only stains my single mom should be getting out of my pants are grass stains.
This specific tone and style of comedy is something I missed from the Greg Daniels cinematic universe, and I'm happy to have it back. The second half of the season isn't just funnier than the first half. In a lot of ways, it kind of feels like a different show. It's significantly less pessimistic, so it's not as draining to watch. For me, it started to have that comfy sitcom feeling where it's like, is this the greatest show in the world? No. show, but if there were 80 more episodes of this, I would happily watch all of them over the course of a month. Unfortunately though, right as things are all coming together for the paper, it ends with a finale that just felt so forced and rushed. Just a few hours of screen time ago, Ned came into an office with no journalists and no skills. The first paper they put out had the headline, "No news is good news," because everybody messed up so bad they couldn't even publish something in time. And then in the season finale, just 8 episodes later, the Toledo Truth Teller wins a bunch of awards. And also Ned and Mayor profess their love for each other, and everything works out for everybody at the end. And I think this is where the show needs to decide what it wants to be. Do they want it to be about a bunch of incompetent morons failing to do their jobs in an entertaining way? Or do they want it to be a kind of feel-good story about the scrappy underdogs making a comeback? Because you can't really do both. You can't have 7 episodes dedicated to how stupid everybody is, and then 3 episodes later, they're winning journalism awards. It's not a satisfying ending if it doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm not saying you should have to drag everything out just for the sake of making it longer, but a feel-good story is really only gonna feel as good as the amount of time it took to get there. In Parks and Rec, Leslie wins the election for city council at the end of season 4, about 70 episodes into the show. In The Office, Jim and Pam had all this tension and chemistry through the first 2 seasons, but they didn't kiss for the first time until 30 episodes in. So when those things finally happened, it felt like a huge deal because we'd spent so much time building up to it. I understand from the showrunner's point of view, they were only given 10 episodes to work with, so they probably just wanted to give it a nice happy ending just in case Peacock didn't give them a season 2. But I really hope going forward they can get that number closer to 20 or 25 episodes to give everything a chance to breathe. They've already renewed it for a season 2, and they're planning to air the current episodes on NBC, so maybe it'll get more of the network sitcom treatment going forward, which would be good because I think that's how this show would best thrive. Like I said, the paper made me realize how much I missed being able to casually watch a new sitcom. The kinds of shows that you can watch a few episodes every night over the course of like 3 months and have it serve as this cozy distraction from whatever might be stressing you out in life. It's like the comfortability of a familiar set and a group of people you just get to spend a bunch of time with. Clearly people still yearn for this type of show, and there just aren't nearly as many of them made anymore. That energy is more often put into the high quality prestige dramedies, you know, shows that are funny sometimes but also stressful, and we can't put a bunch of episodes out because we're trying to win Emmys. There are a few network sitcoms that have received a decent sized audience. I just started watching Abbott Elementary and I like that so far. I've heard St. Denis Medical is pretty funny, but every time I look at the title, my red dead ass wants to call it Saint Denis. And judging by the number of commercials I've seen for Ghosts every time I've tried to watch football the past 6 years, it seems like that one's doing pretty well too. But the most watched shows continue to be comedies that wrapped up over a decade ago. It's kind of funny that because of the way TV has evolved, the best case scenario for these sitcoms is that they garner just enough of an audience to keep making it. And then once all 7 seasons are done and it can be thrown onto Netflix 8 years later, that's when it becomes the most popular it's ever been by a mile. But I also wonder if it's only going to get harder for sitcoms to even get to that point because of how different our approach to entertainment has become. Historically speaking, every sitcom needs some amount of time for the pieces to all come together. But the amount of time that people, myself included, are generally willing to give something is shorter than it's ever been. If you go on TikTok or Instagram somewhat regularly, you've probably gotten used to the feeling of, if this video does not interest me within 1 second, I'm getting the hell out of here. Make me laugh right now or stop wasting my time. My precious, precious time that I spend 9 hours a day of melting my brain with the flashlight I keep in my pocket. The Office was an incredible success story, but I have to wonder, if that first season came out today, would people be willing to give the same amount of time for the show to figure itself out? Or because of our increased impatience, would we be much quicker to just write it off? I don't know. because this is a hypothetical scenario I made up in my head. Anyway, I'm optimistic about the paper. I think they've planted a lot of interesting seeds, and I'm curious to see what it can grow into. And at the same time, I understand the frustration from people who don't even want to give it a chance, because it does seem like yet another reboot coming along to dangle something familiar in front of us so we stand and cheer. But as long as they continue to make the show its own thing and lean less into all the nostalgia bait, I think there's a lot of potential here. In the same way that Parks and Recreation was successful without ever needing to have its universe tie into The Office's, I think this show can succeed on its own the more it moves away from the original. But no matter what they do, they're gonna disappoint someone. If they keep Esmeralda around, some people are gonna stop watching. If they get rid of her, I'll stop watching. And for some people, it seems like they're only gonna keep watching just in case more Office characters pop in. What if Dwight had a son? And what if Jim had a son? And then they could be friends. And then we could just do the same exact show with the same exact characters, but played by different actors. What is this, HBO's Harry Potter series? Move on. Nothing you ever watch is going to immediately be on par with the show you've watched 100 hours of. You gotta open your heart up first, brother. All I ask is that you try not to develop a strong opinion about something before you even give it a chance. Try to go into everything with a clean slate, and if you like it, awesome. If you don't, that's fine too, but at least you've figured that out on your own. Just don't let some stranger on the internet tell you how you should feel about something. Unless it's me, of course. You can trust me. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I know that a random ass Peacock show is not exactly the most pressing thing going on in the world right now, but lately my brain has felt like mush, so for the time being, this is the best I can do. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see my next video, where I will be ranking every number in order of how big they are. Bye.
Hey guy, I'm pissed. I have been trying to make this video for like 4 months now, and today I am finally giving up. Let me explain. So it all started in February when the Twitter streets were buzzing about a new Ace Family potential scam. The How I Became a Millionaire program for the low price of just $50 a month. And I could not wait to throw my money away on this. When this kind of stuff happens, I don't see a scam, I just see content. Daddy made you your favorite, open wide. Now, contrary to popular belief, I don't hate the Ace family. One might assume that because of the scathing video I made about them, but I don't have any beef with like their 1-year-old son. The kids haven't done anything bad. It's just this guy I can't stand. Anytime something goes wrong with Mr. and Mrs. Ace, it seems like he is at the forefront of it. Here he is in the introductory video, following all the standard steps involved when promoting a social media course. Number 1, make us feel bad about ourselves and then dangle in front of us the possibility of all our dreams coming true.
I was living here about 5 years ago with Catherine, and at the time I was going through depression. Now this is my home, my dream home, through the power of social media.
Yep, I used to live in a dinky, stinky small house like you, but now I have a big, stupid mansion with just one easy trick. Doctors hate. Number 2, toss out some vague buzzwords that show off the valuable information you can only learn here.
In this program, I'll be teaching 4 courses. The first course is how to grow your social media platforms.
Let me just...
The second course is how to make money from social media.
But that's...
The third course is how to start a business.
And you could...
And the last course is how to grow your business.
Okay, yes, technically, you could just Google all of that for free, but I'd rather hear it from Austin. And finally, end on a little cliffhanger that makes us yearn to be a part of that exclusive club.
I don't know what else to say. I guess the next time I'll see you guys, we'll be inside the program.
Wait, come back. I want to be in the program. Is it inside your house? Can I come in? So needless to say, I was pumped. Credit card at the ready, Amex on speed dial for when they inevitably assumed this was a fraudulent charge. I was even gonna buy the silver and gold memberships just so I could compare the two. Because yes, with the silver you do get the basic curriculum and 48 videos a year, 1 every week. No, that's right. But then you'd be missing out on all the exclusive extras, like bring in other celebrities to hear from, or go on live with everyone. With everyone? I'm picturing a Zoom call with like 700 people all talking over each other. They'll even pick a few people for weekly FaceTime calls. Yeah, I'm sure they kept up with that. Pick a few people to promote. I like how not specific that is. Is it on your YouTube channel, your Facebook? Are you gonna write my username on your arm like one of those hot tub streamers? Pick a few people to verify. Ooh. I'm sure they're not gonna like email Twitter and have them give you a blue check mark on there. I'm pretty sure they're just gonna verify my HIBM profile, so everyone knows that I'm the official ace lover for life. What I really love about those last 3 is that none of them are even guaranteed, but they're still listing them as benefits. That would be like if I said, hey fans, if you mail me a check for $100, I might have lunch with you. I have no obligation to do it, because I didn't actually promise that I would, but you should still send me that money just in case. So now you can see why I was so excited to sign up for this. However, I couldn't, because I guess I missed the enrollment window. So I had to wait another month and a half. I still don't understand what this business model is. It seems like the whole thing is a money grab, but then they're like really selective about who they grab money from. Anyway, I forgot about it for a little bit. A couple months go by, I go to check it and realize, God damn it, I missed it again. It was such a short window, they didn't advertise it at all the second time, and then the timer just reset. The whole thing is so weird, but I was determined not to let this opportunity slip by again, so I checked back every week. I made sure that we were on track. I marked my calendars. I set an alarm. Nothing was gonna stop me from being there the second that timer hit 0, which, by the way, was on Father's Day. Sorry, Dad, I can't have dinner with you this year. I need to sit at my computer so I can sign up for a scam. I made sure that I would be there. I sat and watched as that countdown hit 0, finger hovering over the mouse, and wouldn't you know it, nothing happened. I couldn't join, the text didn't change, it still told me I needed to follow the timer, which was now gone. How am I gonna become a millionaire now? And that's when it hit me. I just got scammed out of getting scammed. I was practically on my knees begging for it, and instead of taking my money, all they did was waste my time. And you know, they say time is money, so technically they wasted both. Now, the fact that I couldn't join doesn't mean that the course itself is not a scam. I mean, I would argue that if their website isn't being updated to bring in new members, it probably doesn't bode well for the members they already do have. The Instagram is totally inactive. They've had exactly 6 posts on there every time I've checked. And that follower number has only been going down, so they're not accepting anyone new. So it's probably safe to assume that they're not keeping up with the $600 a year program that they made. Since I couldn't join the program, the only recent updates I could find were in a video by a YouTuber named Sloan, and he actually had screenshots from some of his subscribers who did sign up for the program. Lots of not so surprising details here, like the information is not even remotely valuable, the videos seem rushed, none of the live streams were ever done on time, which messed up people's schedules because they would make their plans around it. But it gets worse. Not a single active user on here has ever had a FaceTime call. Yeah, I'm sure they kept up with that. Apparently they're given worksheets to fill out while watching the videos, so it's like homework that you have to pay for. But then when they turn it in, they don't get any feedback. So like, what's the point? And even though they're all frustrated with the service they're getting, they're worried about telling the truth and being blacklisted from the app. So they just continue pretending like nothing's wrong. And that's not even mentioning what people found in the user agreement, which includes 1 million words of legal jargon that essentially boils down to, we own any content that you post. We can reuse it however we want, we can monetize it however we want, and there's nothing you can do to stop us. Even if we just take a video idea and do it ourselves, or steal your merch concept because we like it for our brand, that's fair game, dude. And it makes me sad that even with all of that bullshit, the fans still want to forgive them. And that's what's got to be the most fucked up part of all this, is that you are specifically targeting your biggest fans. You're taking advantage of the people who trust you the most. How ironic that his own advice to you is to engage with your audience. Nurture them on every platform. Shouldn't you start by nurturing your own audience? Or are they not paying you enough for that? This isn't even the first time they're doing this exact scam. They already tried to do this a couple years ago with the Ace Club, and then took none of the blame when it crashed and burned.
The people that we partnered with in that adventure, they just weren't good partners. They end up unfortunately scamming us.
Sorry guys, those idiot web developers screwed us over. Or I guess what I mean is,
you guys got scammed?
Okay, so maybe don't do it again then. Did they think if they just made it really hard to join,
You only have 24 hours.
then people wouldn't find out how bad it is because people like me couldn't go and make a video about it? Or, and hear me out, do they just suck? I think it's that one. I'm actually surprised that this many people had enough faith left in Austin to want to sign up for this in the first place. I get it though. You're a fan. You want to give them a chance to grow. You want to trust them. I used to trust people too, but sometimes things happen that change the way you look at the world, that harden you as a person. It was 2006. RuneScape.com. My friend on the game comes up to me and says, "Hey, would you like 1 million gold coins?" And I was like, yes, please. How did he know that's exactly what I wanted? What a nice guy. All you have to do is give me your password. And obviously I had to think about it for a little bit. Can I really trust this guy? Maybe he's trying to take advantage of me. Here you go. Great. Now, in order for this to work, you just have to log out and log back in, and the money will be in your bank. Yeah, of course, that makes sense. Be right back. So I log out, alarm bell's still not going off. Give it a couple minutes, try to log back in, and I can't because someone else is on the account. And now it's starting to hit me that maybe this offer of $1 million in exchange for nothing was a little too good to be true. So I keep trying to log back in over and over and over again, and the more time that passes, the more freaked out I start to get. And finally, after about 5 minutes of crying and pissing all over myself, I was able to log back in, and I had been wiped clean. All of my coins and armor and everything I had worked so hard for in the game was gone. I was devastated. But I learned a valuable lesson that day, that you can't just go around trusting random people. I had a pretty sheltered childhood, so this was kind of a shock to me. So I swore to myself that this would never happen again, that I would never fall for another scam, and I was doing pretty damn good. Until I bought this fucking thing. Yeah, I'm talking about my moon pot again. The lumpy sack of beads that pretends to be 25% off even though it's always this price. What, this time it's for Father's Day? My dad would disown me if I bought him this thing. Plus, I'm already on thin ice because I had to cancel our dinner plan. They have the audacity to describe it as the anti-anxiety chair. Wow, I can just feel my anxiety melting away. Guess I don't need my therapist anymore. Unlike traditional beanbags, MoonPod belongs in the trash. And you know, I had moved on from this. I was ready to get on with my life. And then they sent me an email asking me to review it. So I did. I shared my honest thoughts. I went ahead and submitted it, even got a little confetti. But then I couldn't help but notice that my review wasn't on the website. Interesting. Seems like you have hundreds of positive reviews, but only 5 negative ones? Nope, those are all positive too. Well, maybe I just need to try submitting another review. Cool. And where is that one? Still not there, huh? Weird how they let this guy post 2 positive reviews back to back, but I can't even post 1. Oh, I think I know what the problem is. Am I being too mean? Here, let me tone it down a bit. That's the sound of me kissing your ass. Oh my God, they fucking posted it. Of course they posted that one. I can't believe that actually worked. Serious question, is it illegal to hide reviews like this? To just delete bad reviews off your website? Because I couldn't get a straight answer when I looked it up, but I did get 2 more ads for the MoonPod on an article about it. And if this screenshot doesn't belong in a museum, then what even is art? Since they don't seem to want anybody to find out how shitty their stupid beanbag chair is, could you guys do me a favor? If you see one of their sponsored posts out in the wild, and you probably will, could you maybe just comment something a little bit more accurate on it? Be as creative as you want, and don't worry about being too harsh, because they're probably just gonna fucking delete it anyway. Sorry for the rant. It's just that thinking about MoonPod makes me angry.
Need to smash something. Cell phone. Goodbye, old friend.
You guys know that I never get mad about anything on this channel, so it was probably a little jarring to see me get so upset.
Won't happen again, I promise.
Anyway, thank you so much for watching today's video. Be sure to stare intensely at that like button and subscribe if you hate me. I'll see you tomorrow for a really funny video where I storm back into that salon and demand that they put that hair back on my head. Bye.
Now this is my home.
Advertisements. The cost of using a free service. But at what cost? Advertisement. Or did I already say that? There are ads all over the internet. You probably saw an ad before this video. Most Google search results are paid ads. I'm actually doing an ad right now. Toilet paper. What is it? But for whatever reason, it seems like the worst ads are on Facebook and Instagram. Obviously, you've got all those mobile games that straight up lie about what the game is. And then another thing I've noticed recently is a lot of companies saying like, oh, the stimulus checks are here, so we've got a sale. We wanted to do our part during these difficult times, so we've decided to let you give us money. And then Facebook uses your interests to try to target related things to you. Oh, you like music? Then check this out.
I be going off that Molly. Too sick for that lean, I'm a zombie.
And I don't like it. I love it. But most of the time it's crap, or it's products that probably are good, but they cost twice as much as they should because they need to make back the money they spent on marketing. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna actually review some of this stuff. Everything that I see advertised to me on Instagram for the next week, I will pay for, and then I will own it. Wish me luck. I don't know why I had to do a cutaway. I was already on day one. I had a feeling this would pop up. I've been seeing this a lot lately. It's a pillow that's shaped like a cube and it's called Pillow Cube. First impressions from looking at it is that it does not look comfortable. It looks like it's made for people with very angular bodies or perhaps a robot. So I guess this started as an Indiegogo and Kickstarter, and yeah, it kinda went viral. I don't know if 75,000 views, most of which were from paid ad campaigns, is something I would classify as going viral, but this is actually a pretty good commercial.
Wow, that is soft.
The price isn't terrible. I mean, there certainly are more expensive pillows out there, but for 70 bucks, this better be pretty damn comfortable. Potential red flag. I'm noticing an unexpected theme here with the reviews. A lot of people are saying that it smells like peanut butter. According to this guy, like a lot, ha ha ha. Almost like somebody dipped it in a jar and then shipped it. It's so weird, man. This pillow smells just like peanut butter. And every morning when I wake up, I have peanut butter all over the side of my face. So I rub it on some toast and it tastes just like peanut butter and it's delicious. And now I have that for breakfast every morning and I have no regrets, 10 out of 10. Gotta say, I'm very intrigued by the peanut butter pillow cube. So guess we'll find out. Okay, this looks kind of fun. A lot of you have commented lately about how my futon mysteriously disappeared from the background on my videos, and it's not a mystery. He left to go to college. But honestly, ever since then, there's been this gaping void in my life that I'd like to fill with something else I can sit on. As usual, one of the first things I like to do when I find a product is sort reviews by lowest, and it's probably a good sign that all of the 1-star reviews seem to have been done by mistake. My granddaughter is in love with Moonpod Space Gray 1-star. Was this helpful? No! Anna A says, I live on my Moonpod. From sitting in my toddler's playroom reading stories, to watching TV, to working remotely, it suits all my needs. It has a very little footprint. Like carbon footprint? Is it a hybrid beanbag chair? As long as it doesn't hurt my fracking business. It is more comfortable than you think is possible. Excuse me? Who are you, Anna, to tell me what I think is possible? You don't know what levels of comfort I've imagined. And you know, you may think $299 is a lot until they compare it to similar products. A Lovesac is $850. Even a regular beanbag chair costs $400. Which beanbag chair are they talking about? At least name a brand. You can get Big Joe from Walmart for 35 bucks. But you can't do all this on Big Joe. You can sit in Moonpod. You can recline in Moonpod. You can even lay in Moonpod. And don't get those two things mixed up, okay? This is reclining and this is laying. You see the difference? Laying, reclining. Ooh. These are not the same thing. And when I'm done with this video, I'm gonna go use my 3-in-1 shampoo and conditioner that also washes hair. Why even advertise it as 3-in-1? You did not need to do this lie. How many people are gonna click on this and be like, 299 bucks? Hell yeah. But only if I can do 3 things on it. All right, enough yapping. This is probably gonna take forever to get here, so I should probably order it ASAP. Bye, money. I'll miss you. Okay, this I can live with. I just dropped $300 on a beanbag chair yesterday, so it would be nice to go with something a little bit cheaper. Plus, I do wear a lot of sweatpants. $89. These pants cost $89? Are they bulletproof? Yeah, these joggers are pretty expensive, but they might just foil an assassination attempt. What even is Vuori? How are you gonna have some obscure made-up name and also have the audacity to charge $90 for sweatpants? After only 2 washes, the side seams have completely frayed. I followed wash instructions exactly and didn't even put them in the dryer. Extremely disappointed with the quality for $90 track pants. Okay, so they're not bulletproof. Generally, I don't mind spending a little bit more for something if I know it's gonna be like high quality, but I have never heard of this brand in my life, so I have no idea what to expect. Guess we'll find out. Why did I buy those pants? Okay, now we're getting interesting. Remember the beginning of the pandemic when everyone bought like 400 rolls of toilet paper and then no one could buy toilet paper? Well, because of that, I had started researching bidets at the time, but those were out of stock everywhere too. Long story short, I haven't wiped my butt in over a year, but the tides may finally be turning thanks to this ad. I've definitely heard of Hello Tushy before. They seem to be pretty similar to Dollar Shave Club in that they don't do anything that's like revolutionary, but they have really good branding. Like bidets are a very boring product, but they make it seem fun. You can join the Clean Butt Club and get $5 off. Don't mind if I do. And if I have any questions, Real Pooping Human is here to help. So I am definitely curious to try this out. My only reservation is I don't know if we're allowed to install this on our toilets. I'm gonna have to ask my landlord about it. What's up? Were you just standing outside the door waiting for someone to mention you by name? No. I came here to tell you your dishwasher's broken. Well, then fix it. That is not my job. That literally is your job. Also, do you think my name is landlord? Yes. Landlord is not my name. It's my profession. My name is Ninja. My parents named me after the Fortnite streamer. How old are you? I gotta go. Oh man, this staircase is steep. Whoa! Ah! Ow! Ow! Ow, 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 I'm okay. You know, I'm 5 days into this, and I gotta say, I'm a little disappointed so far. In the past, I feel like I've gotten so many ads for snack boxes and candy, but this is the week Instagram decides to be like, you wanna spray your butt? And then put on some expensive pants. What I'm about to do is highly questionable. Some of you may even call it tampering, but I have to try to take matters into my own hands. If these ads are truly as targeted as they're supposed to be, then it's nothing a few Google searches can't change. Candy, 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 candy store near me. Delicious candy. Siri, text my wife, candy for dinner? Good news, it worked. Bad news. Did it though? It's spicy candy. I was hoping for mild. They must be pretty popular though, because they're sold out of a lot of their flavors at the moment. I'm just gonna go with the watermelon ones that I saw advertised to me and hope that I don't end up hating my life. It's been 1 week. I thought I had seen the worst. I thought spicy candy, well, at least tomorrow will be better. And then I saw this. Instagram has a cruel sense of humor for saving this one until the end. I was 1 day from retirement, damn it. Well, let's check it out. So a company called Microclimate is making this protective space helmet with a built-in fan and filtration system, and it costs $300. This is obviously supposed to be an advanced and very expensive alternative to wearing a mask. The transparent acrylic dome allows the wearer full peripheral vision. This helps the device quickly fade into the background after being put on. You know, I'm not so sure that's true. Maybe for you, you'll forget about it, but for the people staring at you in the grocery store, I don't think they're gonna be like, what the hell is... Oh wait, no, he has full peripheral vision? Okay, nothing to see. They've got a fair amount of testimonials. Reggie Watts is one of them.
If it dies, do you lose oxygen? That would be crazy.
Hey, if Reggie Watts likes it, I'll give it a shot.
You dumbass.
I also like how they're also trying to make it seem like it serves multiple purposes. It's not just for the pandemic, it's also for seasonal allergies. Now I'm sold. I'll be sure to wear this out in my garden and see how long it takes for my neighbors to stop talking to me. All right, let's go ahead and buy it. Honestly, this is a pretty good haul here. I'm excited for everything, not just for the helmet. Our total came in at just under $1,000, which is not great, but I guess it could be worse. Now all I gotta do is wait for everything to show up. Oh, there it is.
Mail's here. I'm gonna go ahead and open the moon pod first because it's the thing I'm most excited about, and also so I have somewhere to sit for this part of the video. Excuse me. It says not to open it with a sharp object, so I'll try my best. I'm a sucker for instructions. I will always follow them. Did I get the white one? Smell test. You know how when you go to like Dick's Sporting Goods, the whole store just smells like baseball gloves? That's what this smells like. Ah, the cover.
Hole in one!
No, that's fine. You don't need to help. Just keep sitting there. Jeez. Having a little bit of trouble here. Maybe I should have done this last. I'm already sweating. Oh my god. This is kind of a nightmare, honestly. I did it! And it only took 9 minutes. It's more rectangular than I was expecting. I guess I thought it would look more like a beanbag chair and not a giant pill. Honestly, I'm a little underwhelmed. As far as comfort goes, this is like bare minimum. It just feels like I'm sitting on beads. The way they advertised it on the website, I thought it would have some kind of special material inside that would be unlike anything I've ever felt before. It's the moon pod. It's supposed to be out of this world. I don't know, for $300, I'm just not that impressed. I mean, it's definitely better than sitting on the floor. Like outside in the rain. All right, let's get these pants out of the way. Just a reminder, guys, I spent $89 on these, so they really are gonna have to blow me away here. I mean, they're definitely pants. They're a little baggier than I thought they'd be. That is what the one review said. They're very warm. Like, I've only had these on for about 30 seconds, and I can already tell I'm gonna sweat up a storm in these. When I take these off, they're gonna be just soaking wet on the inside. But pocket. This is where I can hold all of the money that I would still have if I didn't use it to buy these pants. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up the pillow cube next because I haven't eaten lunch yet and I'm kind of in the mood for PB&J. It does not smell like peanut butter. It smells like wet paint. I don't know if that's better. Obviously, I haven't gotten a chance to sleep on this yet. I'm gonna sleep on it tonight and let you know what I think. But first impression, as with everything so far, is I can't believe I spent as much money on this as I did. So I've slept on this a couple times now, and I think I like it. I kind of alternate between this and my other pillow, but I'll definitely get some use out of this. It is definitely as soft as advertised, but in hindsight, I probably should have gone with a wider one. Also, I woke up my cat. Sorry. Time for the bidet. Is it breaking? Let me tell you guys a little story about how crafty I am. So I wanted to install this in our second bathroom just in case I messed up really bad and like broke the toilet. But then I realized I needed a flathead screwdriver to take out the seat and couldn't for the life of me find mine. So I went out and bought another one. Then I tried to unscrew the seat and I kept turning and turning and turning and nothing would happen. So I gave up and went to our other bathroom. The same thing was happening there. And then I realized, oh, you also have to unscrew the lug nuts on the bottom, you fucking moron. So then I successfully removed the seat, inserted the bidet, and that only took a couple minutes. Now all I had to do was hook it into the water line, which I managed to loosen all the way until I realized I needed to replace that pipe with a more flexible one so the bidet attachment would actually fit. I didn't realize I could have just ordered this part from Hello Tushy when I bought the bidet, but I'm not exactly the most forward-thinking person. Anyway, I had to go out and buy one from Home Depot, and from there I had no issues. If I'd actually been prepared ahead of time, this whole process would have taken about 10 minutes, but instead I turned it into a 2-day project. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got a butt to spray.
Hole in one!
Here they are. I've smelled a lot of smells in this video so far, and the smell I'm going to experience when I open this sealed pack of spicy candy is something I'm not excited for. First impression, like all candy that gets delivered to your mailbox and just kind of sits there for a while, this is all congealed into one solid object. Like one of the commenters said, it's basically just like regular candy that they put red chili flakes on. All right, here goes nothing. Let me try one with more spice on it. I feel like there wasn't a lot of spice. Here's a nice close-up for you guys. No. The candy itself is good. I'm a sucker for sour candy. I just wouldn't put these two things together. I'll have one more. It's just weird. It's not for me. My final thoughts on Chili Chews is that they are not sitting very well in my stomach, and it's a good thing that I already installed that bidet. Boy, oh boy, am I excited for this one. Here it is. Some accessories in here. You've got like a microfiber cloth. Looks like the charging cable. Also a flight fact card. I believe that is what you show to like the flight attendant when you want to wear this on a plane. To show them like, look, this is legit. I don't know if that would actually work because according to the CEO of the company, he was like, yeah, they still made me put on a mask.
I started to explain what the device was that I had on, but they weren't having any of it and were about to take me off the flight.
You know, it's funny. The whole point of this is so you can have this on without having to wear a mask. But I have never wanted to cover my face more than I do right now. The only thing I really hear is the fan. I feel like if someone was talking to me outside, I would not be able to hear them at all. There almost needs to be like a microphone on the outside and then speakers on the inside. Oh wait, they didn't say anything about burps. It's very loose. Oh wait, I think I figured it out. Okay, and then that goes, I think I figured out the strap. And then I think I just broke. Oh, god damn it. All right, nice solid fit. My hair is very much in my eyes now. Not much I can do about that. Drink test. I just gotta... And it's that easy. Yeah, definitely shouldn't have worn glasses with this. It's pushing down on my glasses, and instinctively I want to like push them back up, but there seems to be a glass dome in my way. I would say overall the theme today has been overpriced and disappointing, but it's not fair for me to judge this just sitting here in my house. I shouldn't have to wear this sitting right here. What I need to do is take this out for a test drive.
Within minutes, I couldn't believe how wrong I was. This thing is incredible. I've never felt more safe in my life. Safe from contagious diseases and motorcycle accidents, from thunderstorms and rogue baseballs. I think I might be invincible.
Siri, cancel my doctor's appointment tomorrow. I don't need it anymore.
I deserve to be rewarded for this moment of clarity. I deserve a snack. So I guess there is one downside.
So to organize my final thoughts on all these products, I'm gonna be putting letter grades into a tier list because my brain is broken and that's the only way it knows how to assess things. Right off the bat, MoonPod, straight up F. I wouldn't say it's an F tier product. If I got it for free, I'd say it's like C at the best. But I spent like 340 bucks, I think, for this thing. It feels super cheap. It's not that comfortable. It's very noisy. Every time you move, I feel like my wife can hear me from across the house. It feels like a $50 beanbag chair at the most. The pillow cube was actually pretty comfortable. If the MoonPod was made out of the memory foam that the pillow cube was made out of, it would be the most comfortable fucking chair in the world. My only thing with the pillow is that I wish I had just went ahead and bought the bigger one. It's not very wide, and if you move around in your sleep at all, which everybody does for the most part, you're gonna wake up in some weird positions, which kind of defeats the purpose of having something that's supposed to like keep you from waking up with neck pain. The pants definitely grew on me as time went on. Really the only thing with these is that you cannot possibly justify the $89 price tag. I would say like $40 at the most. This could go in either B or C. I'm gonna put it in C just because of the price, but they're decent pants. I'm also gonna put the chili chews in the C tier. Obviously, I didn't personally like them, but I've never had spicy candy before. That's not really my thing. Probably the product that is most accurately priced out of everything on this list. The microclimate mask is going straight to S tier. My only regret with it is I wish I had spent more money on it. I wish it cost twice as much. And then the bidet, I think I'm gonna put that in A tier. It works pretty well. It's the only thing on this list that I probably would have bought anyway, but it was pretty easy to hook up, and it's the kind of thing that I'm gonna use pretty much every day. If I were to take anything away from this video, it would probably be that if you see something advertised to you on Instagram, it probably costs twice as much as it should. It's probably not as good of a product as you think it will be, and the reviews can be misleading. I guess the last thing I'm curious about is after engaging so much with the Instagram algorithm, what it thinks of me as a consumer. Now that they've identified me as someone who literally buys everything, what are they gonna advertise to me next? Is it just gonna be crazy expensive stuff? Are they gonna try to get me to buy a car? I'm actually kind of curious. Get through some stories, and they think I'm depressed. God damn it.
Oh, I be going off that Miley.
A lot of, well, I'm filming it now, jeez. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video all the way up until the end, or for some reason, clicking on it and skipping directly to this part. I hope you all learned something today. I know I sure did. I learned not to buy stuff online, because most of it sucks. Or you know what, maybe that's not what I learned, because I had a lot of fun making this video, and I might do a part 2 somewhere down the road. That depression clinic isn't gonna research itself. Anyway, thank you again for watching. I will see all of you tomorrow for our big date at Olive Garden. Bye.